Whispers in the static, secrets leave a mark. Truth ain't in the daylight, it lives after dark. Ryan's on the trail, pulling threads apart. The Ryan Files after dark, this is where it starts. The Ryan Files after dark, peeling back the veil, igniting the spark. Searching through the cosmos, truth leaves its mark. Stay curious, this is just a start.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to the Ryan Files After Dark. Tonight we're headed back to Mars with my friend Gary. Yep, that Gary Leggiere, the guy who dropped Jaws across the internet last time and pulled nearly 200,000 views. Not a lot of comments because, to be honest, most people were just sitting there in shock. Now, before we get rolling, it's the day after Thanksgiving, and I personally have a lot to be grateful for. The show, this audience, the people who become friends along the way. And Gary is certainly one of those people. Off camera, he's not just a guest, he's a friend. I don't email Gary, I call him. We talk. Sure, he's rough around the edges, but he's real. And underneath all that grit is a man fighting to hold on to hope, just like a lot of us are. And as we head into the holidays, 'tis the season to show up for one another. So tonight, every super chat, every donation that comes in during the premiere goes directly to Gary. No middleman, no cut, all of it to him and his family. I'm going to personally kick it off with a $100 donation right here at the top of the show. Now, if you'd rather help another way, grab his book, The Faces of Mars, on Amazon. It's a culmination of his life's work. The structures, the anomalies, the evidence that NASA just won't talk about. This isn't charity. It's friendship. It's gratitude. It's standing with someone who never stopped chasing the truth, even when the world stopped believing in it. So buckle up, friends, because tonight we're going deep into Mars, its hidden history, its mysteries, and maybe what it all means for us right here on planet Earth. It's time to dive in with Gary Leggiere. This is the Ryan Files After Dark. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. The one, the only, Gary Leggiere. He was on just about a month or so ago and suddenly climbed to nearly 250,000 views. I mean, this dude lit a fire under some people, man. It was awesome, Gary, and I appreciate you coming back so much. Thanks.
Thank you for having me on, man. And you know what? I love doing this. It needs to be seen. It needs to be heard because the stuff that's going on up there at Mars, again, everyone, they're not up there with the flotilla of all these crafts, decade after decade after decade after decade. I mean, I could go on 5 times, but nearly 50 years, right? So just to look for drops of water. They're looking down and seeing things there that's giving them reason to flotilla there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's stuff to be seen. And they don't really want to focus, pun intended, and, literally and figuratively, and even obscuratively of what's really there. And that goes against science, okay? And that's the crux of the matter of what we're going to get into tonight. But yeah, again, thanks for this opportunity to come back on. I've heard a lot of positive replies too, and that's good because, people have got to see what's going on up there. And then when you start doing that, you start thinking about it. Some people might be scared a little at first because it's so unknown, but there are people on this planet wanting to blow you up, make you take commie shots, kill you, or do whatever agendas and all the horrible things that could happen. But yet, why the non-threat? Is it a threat, Ryan and others, to look down on the surface of another planet or next door neighbor, no less, and see that, yes, someone has at least been home in the past. Obviously, they may not be home now, unless those subsurface illegals still might be there, needing some freedom. But, all jokes aside, there's things that are there long before humanity was even created. That's the beauty of it. So the big question of are we alone in the universe or not? It's a joke at this point. Once you look down and say, hey, we're in a bigger ocean of things. We are not the center of it all, and it kind of changes your perspective and outlook, not just on yourself or our place in the universe, but in wondering and who we are and what we could be. And to me, it's inspirational, regardless of the good or bad issues that obviously may apply to Mars and its past, right? And or even Earth's ancient past. long before humanity was created. Because as you know, we seem to come across a lot of ruins on this planet that seem unbelievably made long before humanity. So maybe it does, maybe it does not have a part to play in what is on Mars. And because you know the saying that people like to say, we are from Mars, we're the Martians. Well, that's possible with panspermia and all that. You know, any of those things are possible. There's no direct evidence that we are connected. Because again, the things that they're looking down at Mars has been for millions and potentially hundreds of millions of years before humanity was created. Now, or seeded, or however, that's not saying that there was no civilizations on this planet. Something happened. Now we have found beings with elongated skulls that do not match the human, what is that, genome or DNA, right? So, anything's possible, but it's like the crux of the matter is it's still an exciting time because of the mysteries of it all. We are a species that likes to explore, that likes to expand and learn new things. And if these are the things that we must learn and explore and then try to figure out, I mean, that we're just doing our thing, whether it's across the oceans or across vast distances of oceans of space to another planet, and so on and so on and so on. And it brings back to the crux of the issue of what we face, pun intended, on this planet regards to UFOs. And we know that they're real now because that much has been said in the government hearings, right? I'm sure you've seen that, Ryan, of us having retrieved off-world crafts, off-world technology with non-human biologics, which means bodies, so non-human intelligences. So just like there's other species of apes and various cats and everything. Obviously, we must be a species of something also, and we know even on this planet that that's true. We have apes, so they like to say we evolved from them. I don't believe in any of that crap, but I do believe that we could be an off species, whether tinkered with to be made that way, or just created differently than, how do I say this, Ryan? After their own kind, right? Like in the scriptures, he created, like for instance, God created each species after their own kind. Though they have different kinds, that don't mean they're the same things, right? But they have their kind. So I think we have our kinds too. But the question is, are they kind? But like my friend Dr. John Brandenburg says, he says, the good news is that they're like us. The bad news is that they're like us.
All right.
You're gonna. It's a universal thing. The things that go on in this earth, but scripturally, for those who are in the, believers in King Holy Be Jesus, and where that goes, or even any faith, there are good people and bad people and all, aren't there? So there's your good news, bad news. We're going to find similar instances. But I just want to say this off the bat, for those who are devout or feel secure in their faith and their religion, well, you better be. Because the reality is we're faced with something, pun intended, we were told that should not exist at all. So you got to throw a lot of that out the window and just go by the data and the evidence. And when you look at it, let me know, do you feel like snuffing out your kids, going out to your neighbors and burning their homes down? Oh my God, we're not allowed. You know what I mean? I don't think so. Just like the UFO issue, we're hearing it, you see mass panic, and most people don't even give a anymore, it seems. Yeah, there's ETs. We've been so acclimated over the years to this subject. Even in the movies from the 50s, they were telling us about ETs, UFOs, and the science fictions of them, which Dr. Brandenburg and I focus on now and then, on the Martian revelations, which we created like once a month. We're going to start doing more. I'm going to get my show going more too, I hope, knock on wood. Pray to Jesus. But Mars Mystery Science Theater 3000, where we're focusing on many of these old films, right? And Dr. Brandenburg lays out the science of what was science fiction back then, like flat screen TVs.
Yeah.
the typical gray looking type of aliens, the UFOs, magnetics, frequencies, being able to bring them down, like Earth versus the flying saucers is an example, the thing from another world. I mean, all these things that you would watch back then and think of as cheesy movies. Well, in a way, I mean, but those were when movies began, right? So, but it's still fun and interesting because of the information that they embed as a form of acclamation, and then run that through so many years up until a point which was based on, I'm sure you've heard of it, Ryan, the Brookings Institute, the Brookings Report,
Yeah.
and a think tank that came together in 58 before we even went to space, let alone Mars or the moon. They assessed that when we go out into space, when NASA starts sending missions to space, we would find evidence of extraterrestrial artifacts on the moon, Mars, and Venus was specifically named Venus. So that's another interesting subject for a different show. But um, and they recommended basically like total suppression. I mean, the same questions that we hear coming up now from these UFO hearings. Oh, it's going to mess with religion and politics. Well, I don't think so. Again, you got plenty of people out there, regardless of this, that want to kill us or kill the world, blow it up, or any ancient relic. I mean, this is just another excuse. I think we're adapted to that much of understanding that we're not alone. But they recommended, in a way, total suppression, but a form of acclamation for a period of time of which was recommended basically up to 70 years. We're at that point now. And I always say, now we're at the time where we must be told.
Yeah.
And I think you've had a guest on. I need to see that yet. Speaking of Three Eye Atlas,
Yeah. Oh,
it
yeah.
shows up. I mean, and like Bob Dean, Robert O'Dean said years ago, it might come a time when these off-world intelligences may get tired of waiting for the governments of the world and the U.S. government to come forth to tell the truth about them, that they'll just come out and reveal themselves.
Sure.
And how do we know that these things aren't going on? I'm not trying to give fear and doom and gloom about AI Atlas, but Three Eye Atlas rather. But it certainly is on possibilities of what could happen, of what potentially would happen, that I think we should have been awake for militaristically long before. And for all we know, they probably are, compared to when things get out of the bag and, oh, no, we're just seeing this now. Well, who knows? But the point of the fact is, I don't see panic in the streets. They say that, well, if it does, whether they come here or not, if it's discovered that it is a actual alien artifact, probe, ship, call it whatever you want, our economy is going to fall and destroy. That's like saying the same thing. Let's go out and kill the neighbor, kill my family, because we're not alone. I mean, granted, civilizations tend to fall when they meet superior civilizations, but that don't mean it has to go that way. We're not primitive anymore, and this isn't a far leap at this point from a non-primitive stand of where we're at now, technological wise, facing a very high technological, let's say, a Three-Eye Atlas potential, right? We can adapt. I just hope that, well, that the good part is that they're like us instead of the bad part that they're like us, because what is it? But either way, we as humanity have a right to know.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
just like of what we see on Mars. Now, the last show we specifically would focus on, and thanks for helping push the book, The Faces of Mars, Beyond Mere Tricks of Light and Shadow. There's an ebook there. It's like $10. I'm going to tell you, it's steep for the paperback. It's 386 pages. I just added 2 pages. I'll get into that soon because the NASA keeps giving me more to prove my case against them. And they recently did this past month. And, well, I had to add that in the book. But the thing is, it's a larger size book, quality paper, color, quality print. So it's a larger size book so that when you look at, holy shit, the price of that, yes, and I take a bite. I don't. It's not about the money. It's about being able to put something out there that's worth that quality book, the quality pages, quality ink, color. for the subject of the face of Cydonia, which hasn't really been studied in over 20 years, with a just as the main focus. And I think you can appreciate that, Ryan, and the listeners. We went over a lot last time. And so that could be pretty steep. They were listening as $52. Now it's like 38 something. And I don't know what I'll get. Maybe 50 cents, whatever. It's not about the money for that. It's about getting it out there. But in order to hopefully make a little something, if it's too steep, we're also putting out there now, it should be live soon, maybe by the time the show goes up, 2 parts to that one book, the way you would pay $52 or 38, depending how Amazon feels, whatever. But it'll be cheaper for each part, and I might make $1 or $2 off each one. Again, the same quality, same print, but the price would be different to help those. But you would have to get obviously the other half if you're interested in seeing the rest, which I guarantee you would be, especially if you're interested in the subject, because you're not going to see those process images from anywhere else or anyone else on the internet, not even from NASA.
Only from Gary.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about it, and it's not like I should be proud or have a big head. No, it pisses me off because I would like to communicate with someone to collaborate with. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
With more professional people that do know more technical terms of what they're doing. I had to teach myself a lot of this shit, Ryan, and everyone, in order to see what's there, because I can see it, even in the obfuscated images, I see details that most people aren't even seeing. And I said, that's an artscape. There's no sand, dirt, and rocks. I'm seeing scoured, ornate art all over the place. So I was like, I had to learn how to process them myself, because I needed to bring out that data to confirm to myself that I'm not just a nut. No, I'm not. And that's what they're looking down at.
Yeah.
They're looking down at. So for those interested, again, you get an ebook, you watch it on your screens, a big screen, you can zoom in. I mean, and that's only $10, $9.99. So yeah, I make $1 or $2. All right, fine. So what? The thing is, it needs to get out there because I have no marketing. I have no one behind me. This is my first book, and I have more to come. More books to come, God willing, especially depending how things go. As Ryan knows, I don't want to get into. I'm in some situation. Who knows what's going on? But at least the Lord let me put out this book, and that's the start because it needed to be out there. Would you like to get a book with only like the middle pages being quality paper, black and white, and then them falling out of the book? It's like, what the is this? No, you want something quality, you can actually hold in your hands, be able to look at without really squinting your eyes too much. It's a large size book. So I'm not blowing smoke up your butts, people. So, and it is worth it, but there's a lot of positive reviews. I'm even impressed by that because I came at the book with a different approach, than others, but basically building on the foundations that was already put out there, that anyone could continue following the research into those scientific minds and scientists that did what they did with limited amount of images. And I'm giving you image after image, and again, quality. You get to see details, and we're going to get into that. But I had fun last time, Ryan. The time flew. A lot of people tell me they liked it, that I'm myself, and that's how I am. And that's all I can be. I'm not trying to be fake or trying to pull wool over anyone's eyes or anything. The ones that are the ones that's controlling this knowledge from us. That's the thing. And they see what's going on down there. We all have a right to see and know it also. So I don't need a babysitter or a daddy and mommy to tell me what I can look down and see. And I'm like, holy you see a face. Oh, no, you don't. You see a Mesa Hill, a massive. All these different names. A mountain. Well, which is it? Which is it? Then they call it pareidolia, now mimetolith. Why? Because now they bring in human problems of the brain, like you tend to see faces type of thing. It's a human perception problem that's within us, that we're seeing what we're seeing, but yet they're sending billions of dollars worth of crafts looking down. Give me a break. You don't need a PhD to look at. That's going to bring up a point later. That's imagery is scientific worthy. and it's needed, because if you can't see something, you're going to really know what it is, or what to look at, or what to study, or where to go.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, let's get real. And so, again, thank you very much for that. But I would like to, if it's cool, Ryan, to jump up kind of where we lifted off from on the last show, because we got an update. Is that cool?
Yeah, go ahead. Last time we talked a lot about the face of Mars, and I know you want to revisit that for a second, but we're also going to talk about some other structures, pyramids, and all kinds of different things. So I'm excited about this. Take it away. Take it away, hombre.
Right. All right. So everyone can see that now. This image, Ryan, do you still see a face there? Would you say you see a face, or hard to tell, or, if you were just to look at it without ever seeing it before?
Yeah. So, and I just wanted to point this out. Last time we didn't, and this is my fault, Gary, and I apologize.
We're gonna today the meow meow.
Yeah, we didn't get into the lion, kitty cat.
We're gonna get there real soon.
Yeah,
real soon.
That's the first thing I see in this particular image.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be because I have cats, but no, that's the first thing I see. Totally lion's face.
Excellent. And keep that in mind, everyone, because I know other people say that too. And I'm kind of surprised, because as a researcher, I've studied over the years what people say they see what first. And believe it or not, they don't see the lion aspect first. The majority don't. But there are those that do. So I find that interesting. So I think this is why we get what we get from NASA. But this is a new image since I've been on, they released.
Okay.
This is another release, which is this face here is in the central part of the image swath. So let's say the face is right here, and from the area, and it's centrally located. And I predict that next time they release data, it should have been this month, but shut down. So excuses. Okay. They didn't for this month. Maybe they'll release this month's batch for next month, but I have a feeling they may have taken a high rise also. So that would be image high rise number 4. After 17 long years, we only had 3 given to us, 2 within the past year and a half, 2 years, within 2 years, November, December, and the end of 2023. They gave us some, that was 2 and 3. After 17 years, now, so with this one centrally located, I'm like, it's in the right spot. It's in the right. Predict that they may give us a high rise. So that'll be image number 4. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But hopefully I'm right, because the more data, the better. Right? So they give out this. This is how they release it to the public now, mind you. Right? When you go to their page, and we could always throw the link in the details, right?
Right.
Ryan. So you guys could do that, and there's a separate window for it. Shows it's an image information on one side, and a clickable window. You can zoom in and out to where this face is. This is how they release the image to the public every single time. Why? Wow, you're gonna tell me, wow, people that never seen this before. Why? That's either really shiny, or what's the big deal? What do they really see? But you want to see what it really looks like, where you won't see from anyone else, and especially from NASA, is right here.
Yeah.
Look at the details. And I get, let me go back again, if I can. Look at that. That's how they release it. Now remember, this is the people's camera, the people's pictures. Where's that Data Quality Act, people? They stopped that years ago. And what is it? What is it? Why ain't it looking like that?
Yeah.
Why aren't they revealing what needs to be revealed to us in all these features? I mean, I'm not NASA. So therefore, it's unique in the sense I don't see anyone else doing this. That's why you got to get the book, The Faces of Mars, Beyond Mere Tricks of Light and Shadow. It's unprecedented details, unprecedented views. Look around. Again, I'm not boasting. And if you find someone that is processing the Martian Reconnaissance Orbiter context, CTX camera imagery, especially of the face, please let Ryan know to let me know, or email me at marsrevealer@gmail.com. So Look at that. Very incredible features.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
can you still see the kitty?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and the other side now that people can see, people say, "Oh yeah, it looks like King Kong or some type of." But people love to say human, human. It does not represent a human face. It doesn't represent humanity.
Yeah.
Well, why? Because it's hominid. Does that? Well, is your dad a Cro-Magnon, or Cornelius? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or deformed is what I'm trying to say. Wink, wink. Severely autistic in the human genome department. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't represent humanity. But isn't it odd that you could have a fusion within one structure, which is a linguistic, symbolic representation of language, communication, to where both sides represent something that we as humanity are familiar with. Apes, hominids, felines, right? If we never seen cats or felines, I don't know, would you see a lion? No, you still might see something, or know it's something, but even the other side. Wait, if we never seen any apes or anything, how would we attribute to what's an ape? Well, but these two things, just by coincidence, being blended together like a Rorschach test, but it's not Rorschach and it's not pareidolia. This is intentional design. I mean, look at all the ornate artwork. There's no chance there. There's no destruction. There's no collapses. There's not even any erosion. Where's the sand? Where's the dirt? Where's the rocks? Because if you can look at all these artistic details, it continues on. This has all been artistically sculpted. My opinion, it's metal,
Hmm.
not dirt and rock. And therefore, why is Mars red too?
Yeah.
A lot of metal there, right? Iron oxide dust storms. They're not sandstorms like here on Earth. It's iron oxide. Rust. That don't mean there was no water in the past, surely. But what came first, the chicken or the egg? Because sits in Mare Acidalium, which is a prime spot where they say the ocean of Mars used to be. Well, was the ocean there and someone did her up? Or was the ocean gone first and then someone did her up? And it makes you wonder, the materials, but we're going by black and white. We need much more data. But I wanted to focus on all the relief. The surface relief is what's important. Okay. But now that you talked about, feline, I think let's go there. That's it, looking it up right?
Yep.
So hopefully maybe that might look more like a face to you all. And Ryan, it should, because now we don't have to tilt our head each time to look at it. We tilt our head like that because when they take the pictures, the face is tilted at the particular angle from where the camera is taking the image. You know what I mean? So now we turn the image so it's upright. Here's what I mean. Boom. If you split that face in half, oops,
Other
and
way.
then flip and mirror it, what does that look like, everyone? I mean,
Yep.
does that look like a human to you, Ryan?
No, that looks like an ape.
Right. But yeah, hominid, all right. It looks like something, at least though, thank God, maybe, that we could relate to, right?
Right.
And then there you go.
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
Do you see
Lion.
the kid better
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Look at that. I mean, and I'm seeing, believe me, without showing it, I'm seeing more than one kitty here. But the main overall symbolic impression is a lion
Yeah.
looking right at you. And look how ornate it is. Look at the art. Follow the art, the lines, the details. This is not a trick of chance sunlighting. Again, beyond mere tricks of light and shadow. This thing is incredible. And look, if you look at its eyes, it has pupils also.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are the odds to all that? You know?
That one's still, Gary. Go back to that one. I know that you don't like it and don't see it, man. But when that thing is turned upside down, I
Flip it
do
upside
see
down.
the gray
Yeah.
alien.
Yeah, some people say it looks like a gray and stuff, and potentially it is, but they're weak. Just like the other side, if you flip it upside down, it's interesting too, right? And it looks something, but it's weak. But this upright view,
Yeah.
it has strength of its pronounced main visage of communication, if you understand what I'm saying. So it is pretty interesting of what you brought up, even about that. And as a researcher of the face, of course, I noted that, but definitely there's noticeable things from this angle that we both see on both sides. That's looks pretty certain. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean? Not that I'm knocking it or knocking it down. I don't really favor it, but who's to say? Now what do I got here? Oh, so this is what the DNM pyramid from the same image of from where it was taken from of this face in the latest release from MRO context camera, which was taken in May of this year. So it's kind of interesting. So again, I hope they give us the high rise image. I don't know if the DNM will be in it because it's not really centrally located to the image, like where the face is like down here off toward the left, toward the edge of where and typically high rise takes a context image and shoots for what's in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like where the face is. So, but this is a real great shot though of the DNM pyramid. Look at all that detail. This thing is huge. This
How
thing
big is
huge.
that?
Uh, well, if the face is a mile and a half long, a mile wide, 1,500 foot high, this thing's got a good 2.5, 3 miles on it.
Wow.
It's pretty big. I don't know the measurements off at the top of my head. I should, but I got it written down, and I always wanted to compare it with a couple other things too. So before I get more, and I typically the only tool I can really use for that is Google Earth. From the semi things that you could semi trust on Google Earth, but on Google Earth you're not seeing the real terrain. You're not seeing what it really looks like. And last show you guys could you know go into that again and or go to that to see that how the vast differences between how they portray the face and how I reveal the face is the truth that NASA avoids, which makes them cold busted of obfuscating beyond just trying to not reveal the details. So anyway, now since we're here about pyramids, I figure, Ryan, I got a few pyramids to show. Probably like 100 and some images, because I'd show some shape from shadows, some 3D perspective views, and I didn't want to go too crazy, but I wanted to go enough to show you all that things on Mars come in various shapes and sizes, and pyramids unlike of what you used to, unless you consider the Bosnian pyramid. Believe it or not, the Bosnian pyramid, Ryan and others, kind of reminds me of the DNM. Not, not that it looks the same or nothing, but it has a similar style and also a similar shaping, especially if you're familiar with the Bosnian pyramid, how you see most of the pyramid and then you see this like long ramp on top. It looks like a long ramp of land going over on top of it. This is what you see here. Same thing. So that puts a possible connection to potentially who may have did what on Mars, and then who really may have did what they did at the Bosnian complex. I don't know. A possibility. That's not proof that we are the ancient Martians. Much more data is needed, and or is it a universal thing for civilizations to come up making pyramids? Do they need a progenitor to show them the way as it was? So I don't know. I mean, they're all fascinating questions that need to be solved. I know some people would like to kick me in the ass for no, sure, ancient aliens or or it's us. Like the face is a human. Did that look like a human? You heard Ryan himself. That don't look like a human. It looks more like an ape. Thank you. Planet of the Apes. We were acclimated to that too. So, again, there's lots to see there. But pyramids, they come in different sizes and form. Then it's in the shape of the geometrical shapings or mindsets. of math and art fused together as one, kind of like Bizarro World-ish. If you ever grew up watching Superman, Super Friends, you go to Bizarro World, everything's like off kilter, all different. That compared to the regular Superman's world, Earth, where things are normal, and then Bizarro World. Well, Mars is Bizarro World, okay, but that doesn't make it any less valid or any less primitive. There's people I like to say, oh, this was primitive. I don't believe this was primitive. I believe whoever did all this had the means to fly away because a lot of it was carved from above. But I'm crazy and I might be jumping along. I'm not just laying mental notes on you, although. So let me see. What do we got here? Boom. What do you think you see here, Ryan? Geometric wise. Do you see any geometric shape or geometry by chance?
I see a hexagon.
Thank you. Yeah, so it looks like a hexagon, right? So very incredible there. And this is how NASA gave it out, which isn't too bad, by the way. It's not too bad. I mean, it is what it is. So, but I processed it, of course.
Yeah.
What happened? Did I just go boom? Okay. So I reveal a lot of the details that are there. I could bring out more detail on this, and I do need to, but it's pretty damn good compared to that, And I'd like to do side by side comparisons, but I really wanted to focus on that shaping, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this thing, I believe, is corner to corner, 1 mile.
Wow.
1 mile in length. Again, this is where the like Google Earth could be trusted in distance, looking from above and figuring out how wide, how something is. So 1 mile. That's pretty good, So and a lot of the structures on Mars are a mile or more, so this isn't really surprising once you get used to it. Now, this is how Mars Odyssey, which is much lower resolution, this is how they released the image.
Is that it on the right? On the right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
And it's kind of hard to tell, right? It's like the face; it's all shiny and dark, right? Well, hey, I solved that problem. Can you see that? Okay, or is our little pictures in the way of that?
No, you can see it.
All right, great. So. And you can still make out the shape, the geometric shape to it. And it seems to have been designed to where it looks like it's at an angle. They designed it so it looks like an angle. But you can still make out all the sides to it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because again.
And you got all those lines coming off at a at a 90-degree angle, like straight off the edges of the hexagons. Interesting too.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Look what I see. Boom. I showed that. We've seen that. Let me look at this again. Yeah, very interesting. Now, people were trying to argue with me. That's a crater. How would that be built on a crater? Or which came first? I was like, well, I can see why people may say it's a crater, especially when image is given out like that, right? But when you study the details,
yeah, it looks like something hit in the top left corner of it, maybe, possibly.
Not anymore. Look at it. It's built into and that's part of the structure.
Yeah. Well,
it's not, it might be dipped in, but who knows? If there was water, maybe it was a pool there. I don't know. I'm not the Martian that did it, but it does seem to be part of the overall design of the structure. So it's pretty interesting in itself. But or they utilized a crater that was there and they just carved out of it and formed it up and as part of this structure. I don't know. Again, it's really interesting. It's bizarre stuff.
Let me ask you a question real quick. That's
Yes.
interesting. Can I get you to go back to the previous structure?
I don't think there's the DNA.
Yeah. Okay, right there.
Okay.
I just can't get this out of my mind. And maybe I'm just, seeing things. Okay, so if you imagine Earth, and of course, this is people are saying this is a five-sided pyramid, but if you imagine a four-sided pyramid like you might see at Giza, all right, the left side, we'll just call that the west side. You have the north side, and you have the south side. Now, on the east side, man, and you see this circular, blob almost. It almost looks like, man, if you built let's say you're playing out in the snow, all right, and you build a pyramid, a four-sided pyramid, and you throw a big snowball at that one side, man, it would collapse in there and it would push the other sides out. That's almost what it looked like to me, and I just can't get that out of my mind, which is what makes it a little, it looks as if something impacted it and pushed it.
You could see the geometry, right? Like you said.
Yeah, you can see the geometry.
It looks to me, instead of something slamming on it, destroy it, the main geometry is there, but yet they overlaid it with more material because this overall structure sits on a huge mound.
Yeah.
A huge mound. And if you look at that mound, there's plenty of details on that, artistical details that do not seem like chaos, but because you could follow the lines. And that, like, if you were an artist, you could trace over all the lines like a tattooist gone mad would be able to see. And the way that they overlaid it, again, it kind of reminds me of the Bosnian pyramid because that looks like it would be a four-sided pyramid. Yeah. But it's hard to tell when you got this big overlapping of material land. Is that purposed, or was that put there after the fact, after the initial geometric design, shaping and buttressing, and added on this, however that word would be, renovations, or but I see what you're saying. So if something could have hit it but it's not collapsed. That's the problem. It is material on it that was added onto it. If it was collapsed, it'd be sunken in a lot more. It'd be a lot more missing material. I am trying to find the ideal image for the D&M to do an accurate shape from shading from. Then I'll be able to come back on here and we could pick that discussion up again. But until then, this is great to see two-dimensionally. But shape from shadow, it's not an accurate shape because we do not have the what I call the invisible data of when the image was taken or how, where the pinpoint of light position is. Like, think of a clock going around, right? And wherever that light is has to be in like what I call the Goldilocks zone, which is the invisible data you don't see, whether the details are not as seen or crisply seen. We need that sunspot coming in at the right way. It's called photoclinometry in order to get an accurate rendering of the surface relief features and or heights. So until that happens, we'll pick that up. But two-dimensionally, we could just imagine. And the better the detail, the better it is to use your minds to get an idea what this thing may look like in 3D.
Right.
Does that make sense? But until then, until we could do these accurate tests and have enough data to find and make sure that we got that Goldilocks zone spot, that's how I was able to do that with the face. We have so many images now with the face, but yet we have one Goldilocks zone one and a couple others that are just either before or past to where, it's consistent to the Goldilocks zone one, but it would be great to replicate it with another, but NASA knows it. They know it. And that's, again, another long story. We could bring that up another time, but trust me on that. But I'm working on it because it's very important that we get to see these features and not how they've been presenting them. They've been avoiding it. But anyway, you still want to stay on this image, or do you want to
No, but you can fast forward back to where you were. I just had to get that off my chest because I couldn't stop thinking about it. So, yeah.
All right. It is cool looking. And remember, this thing is, when Mars was nuked between 150 million to 500 million years ago, this is in the overall same area of where it was nuked. So if that's the case and this was there then, who knows how much older it is pre-nuclear detonations.
Sure.
And then Again, humanity came what? How long ago? So there's a lot of things before we can say, oh, we are the Martians. Bullshit. There's no evidence of that. We need much more data. It's nice to think about, speculate, and kind of, it's a logical sense. I'm not saying it's crazy to think that it could be connected to us. We need more data because, believe me, humanity's been wrong before, and we still are in many ways. But let me go on. Boom, 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 boom. So I did a quick line tracing of that. So you can see indeed where I'm going. And you see what I mean when I said it's like at an angle? Because that's not the image. That's the designer made it like that. Why? I don't know. But look what I also see. Real quick. It's like, boom, you have double layers. And all right, so this is that structure. Now we're going to look at it in 3D. Sorry about that. I threw myself off. Look at that.
Hmm.
Let me see if I can zoom in. Can you see that good and there's nothing obstructing it?
No, it looks good.
Now, let me go back one more again. You see my drawing layout. Look down toward the hour left,
Mm-hmm.
right here. What do you say that is? I mean, look, less logical, right? Look down. Oh, that's
A crater.
right,
Yeah.
a crater. Wow, interesting. It's a crater. Right. Okay, keep that in mind. Now look to your right there.
Is that the
That's
same
that
thing?
that's that so-called crater.
Hmm.
What's wrong with that crater?
So it's not a crater, Gary.
It looks more structural
Yeah.
as it was. Just like this thing. Look at the shaping on the side of this thing, right? God, I can never stop getting enough of looking at it. Like you see, shade from shading is such a valuable tool. It helps us to better to see and to understand what we're looking at two-dimensionally. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's why you would need a good accurate point of light to bring out a render that is realistic to what you're seeing. Because believe me, NASA loves to avoid that and make it look as smooth and flat as possible.
Right.
Just look on Google Mars. Just look around, turn it sideways. It's ridiculous. Mars is not flat like that, especially in these areas. I see a kitty there. Hi, kitty.
Oh, yeah.
Look.
Oh, yeah. Hmm.
So this thing's definitely got some height.
Yeah.
It's got some shaping to it. I know that, that's the beauty of this too. There's so many images, and space is not the geeky place they taught to us that and make us all think that it is. It's really not. I mean, and then look over there to the left again, our left. There's that crater structure coming up. Look at that thing. I could swear I see some geometry in that there, I mean, look at that.
All right.
Look at those terraces in it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I call them terraces for lack of a better word. Not saying that those are terraces, but
That reminds you of the side of hills down in Peru.
right,
Yeah.
right. But those are terraces, made, not natural.
Right.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
For all we know, it wasn't humans that did it either. That's part. Now, again, here's another angle look at that crater. It looks more, I can see triangular geometry there. Can you?
Sure.
As that called crater? I mean, that's pretty interesting. Two-dimensionally, we couldn't, it's a crater.
Yeah. 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 Could be an amphitheater.
Right. It's big enough to be one for sure.
Yeah. Interesting.
Remember, corner to corner was a mile, so that thing has got to be at least a quarter mile or greater.
Yeah. Wow.
And the age of it. So there's, different views of it to better understand the surface. And obviously, even as pockmarked as it may be, a lot of it falls into this artscape to where these artistical features go. So some of these craters, I even theorize and state that they're not real craters at all. It's part of the bigger picture of whoever carved the living hell out of the surface. And we just don't know what it is. To us, it looks like a lot of craters. There is a lot of craters now, mind you, but when they're fitting in the art, it's like what came first?
Yeah.
The artscapes or the craters there, and then someone just went over it and utilized it to merge it in part of the bigger picture as it was.
Right. Or, I mean, listen, it could be as simple. One of the things they talk about on the moon is, some of these craters are valuable because whatever struck the moon has, rare elements in it and whatnot. So if you were going to build a facility to mine whatever rare ore was in that crater, it might look like that.
Bingo. Bingo. And therefore, whoever done this stuff on Mars might have used the surface material to use it and build their structures too, along with many of these so-called craters, because craters are not hexagonal in shape. And there's many of those, and even some of them on the moon. What makes that? Where's the hexagonal or octagonal shaped craters on Earth? Nowhere. So, I mean, not at least not that I have seen. Meteor craters in Arizona, I think it is, or wherever at the
Around. Yeah, they're round.
So it's really interesting to the application. If you notice on the moon, speaking of the moon real quick, notice they all go into up a certain depth that's kind of consistent,
Yep.
no matter how big it is.
Yep. That's bizarre. That's bizarre,
yeah,
Gary.
Yeah, the shielding. Now here, what do you think you see?
Yeah, it looks like a four-sided pyramid. It looks like the pyramid they see in Alaska, or I mean, in Antarctica.
Right?
Ironically. Yeah.
But notice what's interesting about it. It seems to be a pyramid that looks like it had people would say, oh, that looks like a road that gouged out length there from that one part, the side of the pyramid down to the bottom point.
Oh,
Looks like a scoured out road or maybe a waterway. Right? Maybe as this pyramid was built, if this was a waterway, the water line came up onto the pyramid itself. What a pretty sight. They could just row their little boat and get up and walk on the side of the pyramid. I'm not saying they did or not. I'm just saying it's pretty odd, though. Wouldn't you say? I mean, it's interesting. It stood out at me, and I was like, this thing's really weird. Which came first? This looks like something to where something that pathway might have been utilized, or both were created at the same time for the purpose of whatever this thing's original intent was.
it looks
Right?
almost like an entrance door too. That path leads up to.
Indeed. So I got a couple of these type of examples tonight. Boom.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. I got to see all
Look,
sides of that.
now, if you notice this, by what you just saw, you're not going to see all sides looking as that does,
Right.
right? Because you got some roundness going on, but you look at all those sub little features, with all the details in it, and there's shaping, and okay, but it looks like if there was water, you could definitely tell. Oh, we could think in our heads how that water would have looked cool, pretty cool going onto it and around it, right? I mean, because look, you can see it continue on the other side of the pyramid somewhat. So who knows? So very interesting. But I thought people get a kick out of this because when I did this, I said, no fucking way. I got to do this again. Because I was like, I got to make sure I'm not just going to believe the first thing I see. You know what I mean? You got to mess with it to the program to get it in an accurate spot. And look at that.
Hmm.
That even that alone doesn't look natural. It looks quite familiar,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Sure does.
So yeah, there's your causeway thing, right? Uh, Wow. Remember, this is ancient. So is that obviously it has some wear. Look at that.
Yeah, interesting, man.
So we have definitely something familiar there. You have those mathematicians of geometries could look at there. That'll resemble, you look at that, you're like, that's a pyramid, right? I mean, well, right? Am I misspeaking? And then, bam.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
And look at that little structure next to it. That looks like a pyramidish type structure too. Just not as elaborate and pyramidy as that one. But it definitely looks like something. You could follow the lines. Looks like with some pock marks on it. You know, maybe someone slammed a few bombs into it. I don't know. But it's definitely been sitting there a long time. It could last through the ages, especially if it's metal.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
Look, now that's even a better image of this. Look at that.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That looks like, dude, that image right there looks like,
Looks like a pyramid.
yeah, and it kind of reminds you with the other one off to the side and that mound maybe on the bottom too, like a pyramid complex, like Giza or something. Wow.
Right. It's not alone. It has a little substructure with it, and look at that causeway. You could look at the shaping of it. It's and like a ramp,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
And look on the to our left of that ramp. You can see how it flows into the side edge of that pyramid.
yeah. Hmm.
That where that's what I mean. Which came first, or were they both created at the same time with a purposeful intent? That's incredible. So that's what you see two-dimensionally. Wow. There you go, bringing it to life.
Wow.
So, well, in your opinion, what I just said, does that match my analysis? Does that help you better to see and understand what we're seeing here more? That gives knowledge, or do you think it's not worthy to be considered a science? And we know that it is. NASA uses the same program themselves, but they don't like to reveal it their use to us. They like to obfuscate. But I love this structure. That's why I was like, you know what? I think you and the audience would really love to see this, and you need to see this because there's obvious geometry there. Would you agree, Ryan? Do you think, you don't have to agree with me, obviously, but does this look like an archaeological intelligent techno signature to you?
Absolutely. I would love to just find out what's going on there, and
Now you can see why there's so many probes. What they're really looking down at. You
yeah,
think they're looking for water or microbiology? Everyone, give me a break.
yeah.
Three Eye Atlas certainly wasn't looking for that when it went by Mars, like on purpose. When were
Yeah.
they really checking out at Mars?
Yeah.
Maybe they know who did what was done to Mars. Maybe they're related. Think about that.
Yeah. Interesting.
Here now, what do you think you
Holy
see?
smokes. What is this?
Yeah, well, what do you think it looks like? Would you call that a mountain, a hill, a mesa, a massif? Or would you call it a pyramid?
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of a fortress.
It reminds me a little bit of that D&M pyramid, just
Yeah, for
without the
sure.
mounted.
For sure. For sure.
It's got that five-sided look, kind of pentagonal almost. Very interesting. It definitely, with those sides, you can see geometry.
Hmm.
This is my process version, of course. Now wait till you see how big this is.
Oh.
Look at that detail coming off down to the right. Weird, but artistical. Follow the lines. Follow the lines, everybody. It flows right into every linear part of this structure. Everything's connected. Even though it has some wear and beating on it, This is not eroded. This is scoured. This is carved, and it's not carved by windblown sheep. This has purpose. Follow the lines for you artists out there. Prove me wrong, because I'm going to be showing you guys it in future books. I'm just getting started with the face of Mars because I've been doing this for a long time, people. This is really odd here. I always found this fascinating because, again, which came first? How can you have one without the other? And if you have the one there, how come it didn't destroy the other? They're blended into each other as part of the structure.
Do you have a 3D of this 3D
Uh-huh.
side view?
Funny you bring that up, sir. Now, but
Oh,
before we do that, look how big this is.
wow.
3 miles,
Wow.
corner to corner. 3 miles. Another exact number, too. 1 mile. Wow, that's hard to believe as it is. 3 miles. The Bosnian pyramid's fucking huge. That ain't no 3 mile wide pyramid.
And
Now,
right at the center point too. Looks like you're right at the apex of the 5-sided pyramid, just about.
right.
Interesting.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, NASA gave out 2 images of this to a Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter CTX camera. One had it in it, obviously. We could get the whole thing. One's at the edge of an image. And the other one was released like that too, with the shiny on the side, hard to see, but this is what it really is.
Hmm.
Let's look down at that cool little, again, follow these. See, the more I'm getting more and more better at looking at all these subtle little relief features, I'm bringing out the art. They are doing everything they can to hide the art. But once you see the art, you'll know this ain't no sand. This ain't mere rock. Because this is like, you ever go into those stores, you see those pewter statues?
Yeah.
Jagged and stuff like they're so perfect and beautiful and scaly and worked metal. That's what this is. And I'm getting better at it. Watch, everyone. And, don't kick me in the. I don't see anyone working on these images, let alone trying to work on them to reveal the tattoo that I see that's there. And I love it when I'm able to start bringing it out. And I'm going to bring it out even more. This is what NASA's trying to cover up. Why? Again, I always claim since for many years, Mars is artistically sculpted on an entire planetary scale. Like Richard Hoagland once said to me, Gary, that's good science. Just not yet.
Gary, do you do an impression of me?
It's all about how I can't even do it, no. But there's still someone else you look like. It's not just him, man. It'll come to me one day. But that's cool.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's beautiful, actually.
Now, here, is this Mars Express or was this Odyssey? I think this is Mars Express. Now we get an image from it, lower resolution, but any resolution is good for comparative analysis. Now, those images, all those features around this thing, that's actually part of the artscape. The better resolution, the more it comes out. But sometimes at different resolutions, it shows you data points that you could match with the high resolution and get a good idea and see, hey, that's not image artifacts. That's not JPEG. This ain't a JPEG. This isn't pixelizations. These are actual features. Now, and notice where they go. We get now from a side of the pyramid that's shaded compared to the ones that we got from NASA that show this where the side that's shaded here is the side that the light's hitting. So, but I just thought I'd share it because it's still good to show that no matter what angle the sun's hitting it, there it is. Now this one's Mars Express too. So a higher resolution though of Mars Express. This one's a lower resolution of Mars Express, but and it's still lower resolution than the main one from MRO, obviously. But look at the detail. That's what counts. I love looking at various images, different times of day. Mars Express helps reveal the tattoo better. Wink, wink. Uh, but again, you got to drop in the loss of resolution, but that's okay because once you learn to start what you see in these images, you could better understand how to interact them and what's that word? Collaborate with each other, even though there's resolution differences. Does that make sense?
Yep.
But I look at that. This thing's definitely there. And again, look at that so-called crater up here. What came first? They're both fused together. So either way, whenever this thing happened, take that for however you want it, both was done together.
Yeah, and that crater on the top left. So
This almost looks like a perfect circle too, wouldn't it? Geometry wise.
Yep. And then like the 5 o'clock, maybe 4 o'clock area, it looks like that crater, there's like a negative space in there between that and as the pyramid rises. And it just doesn't make sense that would be natural. You just think that
and without destroying that pyramid edge.
Yeah.
It's not destroyed at all. They're fused together. Oh, living in harmony. Right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Now.
Okay, so this is is that the crater on the right?
On our left is that crater. Remember, it's built into the fusing of the structure itself, right? Yeah. See, if we look into that crater, we're calling it crater for the lack of a better term. Obviously, it's not a crater because it's part of the structure. Maybe it's a giant, what is that old resort? Howard Johnson's swimming pool. I don't know, but I'm just saying, but look at this thing. Look at this thing. Look at all those details. Look at the shaping of it. And it's like, it's scary. People get scared. Why? Because it's so different. And to me, it's higher than human intelligence that did it. But look at all the features around it. All those little pyramidal shapes, those pointy shapes. Do you see that?
Yep.
That's not natural. So we're going to take a quick spin around it from a couple of different angles. Again, keep your eyes on that crater thing too. You'll see how it blends right in line. It's weird. Nothing is really level on Mars, which they utilize the landscape and tour up. Wait.
What is that?
That's the side of that pyramid. Those are the so-called craters that we see there. Look at that. That's also built into it, and the fluted rims like that. Look at that. I don't think that's no normal crater, man.
That looks like a doorway.
Is it right?
Yeah. Jeez, that looks like a doorway.
Remember, 3 miles corner to corner.
That looks like a hangar.
Right?
That looks like S4 opening in Area 51 in the side of a mountain, for aircraft and everything else. Wow.
But everything looks like it has purpose.
Sure.
Like it's all purpose. It's all been art carved. I don't see any dirt and rock here. I don't see no erosion. Where is it? Where's the soft, wispy, because with that you cannot see the artistic detail like a pewter statue.
Right.
You know what I mean? Unless maybe you hit it with a blowtorch, shoot it with some BB guns while it's red hot. And, and then put in some pock marks. Maybe we'll get some craters that look like that.
Hmm.
Look at that. That's an amazing view, man. That is amazing. It just blows me away, and people wonder why I'm so obsessed. I'm obsessed because look at what I'm seeing. Look at the things I'm learning, and it's in the data. It's there in the data. NASA's just not saying nothing about it. They'll call you crazy. That's why they obfuscate. They don't want to make things obvious. So again, look at that side view. Oh, pretty incredible. Now, what one do we have next? Ah, this one. I love this one. I'll leave that there for a minute. Ryan, what do you think you see? To me, this is an awesome find.
Hmm. Tell me what you see,
Oh,
Gary. I mean, obviously, I see kind of a circle with a squared off base a little bit, but I mean, like, I guess I don't know. Tell me.
okay, people would say, I see a crater, right? Yeah, it's a crater. But how many craters do you have with a built-in pyramid?
Oh, yeah,
Do you see it?
yeah. I'd like to
Now,
get a clear
it,
image of it.
it's two dimensioned, right?
Yeah,
But you can already see there's things about it. There's things about it that just don't look right, natural.
yeah.
Which came first? Oh, what came first? So,
Is
over
that
to
the
the
side
left.
view?
Yes,
Oh,
from the ground.
that's a pyramid then, huh? Look at that.
Boom. Oh, you see that pyramid shape there, huh? There you go. That pyramid shape's the pyramid we see there at the top at 11 o'clock. All right, people, you ready to go for a ride? See, it's not just faces on Mars. I wanted to focus that there's also pyramids and they're bizarre pyramids and they're huge. Again, that's the side ground view. Taking a journey. So hopefully you all are not trying to have dead air. I love looking at these pictures. Hopefully you do too, because again, to better appreciate what we're really seeing there from a two-dimensional image. And look at the side of that pyramid. It looks like it's built and as being part of the crater edge,
Hmm.
the lip. Might be a little harder to see because we're moving around. Oh, let me go here again. Notice how you could tell the pyramid side there, but notice how it looks. It's definitely fashioned along into the crater edge wall, and that crater edge wall even has an opening, like an opening to walk in and out of. Right? Can you see what I mean in the center
Yep.
there?
Yep.
And how this pyramid looks like it's just running along the edge of that. There's an opening. I'm presenting this here to you in the audience for the first time, by the way. I showed a
Much,
couple is online. That's
much,
it.
much softer relief on these images than the
Yeah,
jagged.
very right. I noticed that too. But that also it tells us that might be older,
Hmm.
or it's just in a different vicinity. It didn't need as much tattoo work done on it. I don't know, but to find stuff in various areas and regions of surface likenesses is kind of intriguing, and it would make sense because Some areas, things here on Earth, some structures, ancient structures are more revealed than others. You know what I mean? And how they would look. Even though this planet erosion is rampant, Mars, you're hardly, if any,
Hmm.
erosion. That's why you could fathom 150 to 500 million years easy.
Wow.
Look at that. Does have that sci-fi type of view to it, huh?
Yep, sure does.
Ah, look at that. That's where the geometry comes in, especially with the peak and the how that wall is. This is so it's incredible. I'll try to move a little faster, Ryan. But I just want people to look around and appreciate this.
Yeah, it's fascinating, man.
Look at that.
Yep. Wow.
And there's that opening on the other side there in the far end at 12 o'clock.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah,
the
that's
gates.
interesting. Yeah, it's like the gates of in a walled city.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Now we're starting to see as we move higher, as we spin around, we can appreciate more of the geometry and shaping of this thing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Look at that far structure at the back. That looks pretty wild. I love that view there. What am I speeding along here for? Boom. That's a cool view.
Yeah. And that structure, go back. One more. That structure on the far right,
On the bottom or the top,
the top.
that's fluted up.
Yep. It looks like a triangle.
No.
Interesting.
And these things ain't small. I gotta get the size of this approximation for you all. I'm still working on it, everyone. But I just wanted to show a bunch of it to reveal it.
It is funny that when you see one of these, oftentimes you'll see another or something that could be, it's interesting.
Well,
Look at
that's
that.
another thing too, because there is another image, at
Even
another area.
inside that crater, look inside that crater, man. It
You
looks
see
like
a
it looks like pyramids inside the center of the crater, and that's a fabulous view right there. Like it's like a pyramid built into the side of this massive crater, and then
right. So that opening there leads what? Leads you down into that secondary structure.
yeah,
You know,
interesting. Yeah.
so I got to find out how big this is. Then we could determine then how deep it is, at least approximate, right?
All right. That's wild, man. That's science. That is so science fictiony. Excuse my expression. Like that feels like intelligence on another planet, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's kind of eerie too, like eerie in a cool way. Look at that. Wow.
Well, it is. It is, and it's like these are the things they're looking down on. They're seeing what's there.
Yeah.
That looks, it's a wild view too. Look at the buttressing on that.
Yeah.
And look, it's definitely part of that crater wall. And then that opening, hot gates.
Yeah. Literally the gates into the whatever this complex is.
Yeah.
That's fascinating, Gary. You got to do this. You got to do this professionally.
Oh, hey, where else could you go but the Ryan show, man? Right? These are like type of examples I want to show you because, especially as enticement to hopefully want me back and have me back each time. I can present some things, and around these are the things that are out there to find and to be seeing and to be talking about. Gosh, look at that. And look at the inside of that pyramid wall. Look at all those details. It looks like a load of details there, man. And and you can trace the lines, and that's purposed. Like, I got to do some line tracings to really bring it out more to help what I'm trying to say. Because that's what counts as the data. And if I can help show what's more in the data that I see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's there, and then you can compare it to help you see, oh yeah, that is there, type of thing, or to confirm. But look at that.
Man, it looks like some sort of fortress, man. That's wild, dude. That's wild, Gary.
And gee, this is one of my most favorite finds. I got to admit, it is. It's even there. Look at that. You can tell that inside. Oh well, that's a crater. Well, look at the crater edge and the inside of that structure. Like you said, is a structure. Look at the shaping. It has geometry to it. Look at it like a hexagon, or you know what I mean, like a nut bolt, a hex head, right?
Yeah.
It's not a normal crater. And look what it's a part of. Just follow the lines. That's it. Like you said, it's a structure.
Yeah. Is this one named? Does this one have a name?
Mad Martian's Crater Pyramid.
I think it should be the Leggiere Fortress.
Leggiere Fortress. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, it looks like a fortress to me, man. Like in the old days, they'd have the castle.
Yeah, with the inner sanctum. Come to the inner sanctum.
So, like, all the villagers would live within the crater and whatnot, and there was only one way in. It's a walled city, but you have the big capital, fortress or whatever, the castle, and it's that big pyramid, man. And that's what it looks like to me.
And whoever lives upstairs in the peak of the pyramid crater rim, that main pyramid looking down at the inner structure.
Yeah, that's you.
Tell me, it'd be a cool sight.
That's you, Gary. What's it really look like? Tell us. That's your fortress.
Yeah.
Fortress Leggiere.
I also see something that might like a lot of swimming. That looks like a big pool.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of details. Again,
Yeah.
the relief I got to bring out more. I got to bring out. Don't worry, everyone. I'll believe me. I'm well on my way. Because you don't see this from no one. Again, look anywhere. You're not going to see this from no one.
Dude, that's my favorite image I think I've ever seen. And is that the first image that you showed me?
I just showed this to you now.
Well, it's similar though to the first one. You asked me what it was, and now I can't unsee it. Yeah, so this is fascinating, man. Wow.
It is. You can't, right? When you see it, I mean, you got a pyramid, then you got the inner sanctum structure. And I didn't want to mention the inner sanctum. I'm glad you did, because I can swear I see it. And again, that so-called crater there, that's really has hexagonal edges.
Yeah. Right in the center, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like another hexagon.
One place. This is amazing. Look at that.
Yep, for sure, man.
I'm gonna do some line traces on here, and I'm gonna make a video on this. Obviously, it will be going into a book.
Yep, call it Leggiere Fortress. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you got it. This one's the best one.
I'll do that. Well, we can name it after you, even since you named it.
No, it's and you got the Leggiere penthouse right at the top, looking down over the entire. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. That's my favorite one, man. Cool.
All right, everyone. So, that's the last image at the moment, because I know maybe there's other discussions and things to talk about, but I wanted to show you all well, there's not just a face there. And then what do you think about the face of Cydonia? When looking at these other bizarro world structures, extraterrestrial, obviously, techno signatures. Who knows how, you could drive yourself crazy, how old they are. Here's what matters. They're there. They're there.
Yeah.
And we all have a right to know, and that's our inheritance. Whether we knew them or not, or they knew of us or not, remember, especially if they were dead and gone long before humanity's creation, a lot of happened between there and there. Who knows?
Yeah.
But one's home now and we're going there, we inherit that. Then we get to learn.
Yeah.
And again, it may not. I think the scariest thing I think people really fear, it's not going to say nothing of us. Because people want to think that they're the grandest thing or the grandest space in the universe. Oh, we are the greatest thing. We are the most important, the most. The Three-Eye Atlas is what it is. Look who went by Mars, doing whatever it was doing in the blind of the Earth, coming in at a 5-degree angle along our ecliptic plane of the planets, knowing and it would come through, like I said, knowing when it would come through, being blind between Earth and Mars is the sun. Its intent was to pass close to Mars. Come around now, which is saying, it's coming from behind the sun. People seen it before that people were lying. So, mainstream was lying, government was lying, because it was still being seen, but it's coming out from behind the lights of the light length of the sun that would blot things out. It's there, and it's going to be getting better and better. Now, will it come here? Who knows? I don't think so, because why go through all that just to do whoop-de-doo and come to us? I mean, something was going on. Maybe that was them trying to show us, hey, have no fear. You'll figure out we're coming through. Well, therefore, we don't want to make you worry. We'll do this maneuver. So that's a good sign of good faith, good gesture, that we're not just heading up to scare the shit out of you all, heading up to your planet. We'll come in between Mars and Earth by the sun in the middle, doing our thing, and then coming out, zipping, getting a long view of Venus, coming out of passing by Jupiter, maybe incrementally changing, but I don't think even though it's changing now, I don't think it's heading toward this Earth. It could. Maybe it could. Maybe it will. I don't know, but I know, why go through all that to do that? It's intelligent. Therefore, again, we're not the grandest things. I went off on a tangent there, sorry. But we're not the grandest things in the universe. So when we're looking down at Mars, seeing things like that, think of that Three-Eye Atlas.
Yeah.
What did it want to see at Mars?
You're right, man.
And why?
So, Gary, I have a question for you. I'm curious as to what you think of this. And in no way, shape, or form do I pretend that I know the answers to all of this or the details. But a lot of people believe that there was a pre-Adamic time on the Earth, meaning prior to Adam, prior to the creation of man, if you are a creationist. And during that time, it is alleged that on this Earth, possibly on other planets or whatnot, there was another race. Was it human? Was it angelic, for a better word? I don't know. Was it a different race? I don't know. But there is definitely a lot of people that believe in this pre-Adamic time period. Okay. There's people that go so far as to say that race, that this extended to Mars, and that there was a planet that was between Mars and Jupiter, which is now our asteroid belt, that got destroyed in a kinetic war. We think that there was
our Earth is a chunk of that planet that blew up.
Well, there's people that say that. There's people that obviously something happened on Mars.
It was a watery world with rivers of gold. That's why I said, all right, let's put it to the test. Not just by Zechariah Sitchin's of the Anunnaki and the tale of that. And if Mars may or may not have been a moon to that world, I don't know. A whoop-de-doo happened to it looked like, right?
Yeah.
But okay, this is still theoretical. But how do we check it out? If that planet is the chunk of Earth came off of, Marineris Trench, the Marineris Trench, there's the deepest part.
Yep.
That's the wound. That's the scar. And now because of gravity and oscillating around, it heals as the Earth heals. That's why we have plate tectonics too. Because remember, if we're a chunk of that planet, it's trying to become around again. I don't think we have a round planet, but I'm crazy. That's okay. We'll see. But yet the structures on Mars and faces, oh my, lions and tigers and bears and apes. But anyway, so as it heals like a scar, so therefore it can make sense in that sense. If it was a watery world with rivers of gold, these Anunnaki came here looking for gold because we were a part of that planet. But why didn't they go through the asteroids? Start mining them. I guarantee it. If we would, well, here's what I guarantee: if that story is true, we'll see the same in those asteroids that we find here on Earth because we were part of the same world. Unless and of the material that either blew it up or crashed into it, which was the part of that story. And our moon was one of the leaders and helped driving the death blows of that planet. Our moon was called Kingu. So, if any other bodies we'll find that material too. But we should find a lot of material that matches this Earth. Would that be logical?
Sure.
So why haven't we done those tests? And they always say, hey, they want to do mining. I mean, how many jobs you'd create? And there are serious companies thinking of those aspects to mine out what's out there. But that would also bring, the knowledge would have to come to the forefront. Yeah, we're part of the same thing. So therefore, we should definitely find gold. Why the Anunnaki just had to come here then? They could have did what they had to do in the asteroid belt. Or was it too dangerous? Who knows? Now, I think that goes on what you're trying to describe. So continue on with that.
Well,
and that's the proof of that, how we could put that to the test. I don't see no one doing it.
Right. I just think that it's interesting. One thing that we do know for sure, though, is there's chemical residue of, atomic explosion. Only weaponized atomic material creates, what is it, the xenon?
Xenon 129.
Yeah, on Mars. That doesn't necessarily really exist in those kind of quantities naturally. And so something happened.
Unless from a supernova.
Yeah,
that's
something happened.
Well, Mars is still there. Earth is here. So it definitely wasn't a supernova. Kind of narrows it down. And it narrows it down by my friend Dr. John Brandenburg. Again, I'm going to put him in touch with you, sir. I'm not slacking. I just have a lot going on. But I am. I'm going to talk to him this weekend. So get ready for a call. Do you mind if he calls you?
No.
And number two, he states by the degradation of that material, yeah, there's still some radioactivity, but it's nowhere near as dangerous as what it used to be. And the length of that time for that breakdown, 150 million to 500 million years ago, is when it occurred.
Wow. Yeah.
That, again, so was it, again, angelic races? There's potential thereof. It is potential thereof. Obviously, the Lord created the cosmos, and Brandenburg will say that too. He'll right in Scripture. Go out and tell the world of the kingdom, of the gospel, which is the kingdom. It's not just Jesus. No, that's great news. But the gospel was what he, even though what all the he went through and did for us, what was his main good news? Not that I'm going to save all your butts if you believe in me, but my Father's kingdom. It was a kingdom, not of this earth.
Yeah.
A physical, spiritual kingdom.
Yeah.
So that tells you something. And plus, there's scriptures that and it helps me sometimes, Ryan, throughout the hard years, especially. You have no idea. We'll talk sometime and you'll get blown away. But privately first. But seek his face in the heavens. To see someone's face there. I'm not going to bow down and worship it. It is a carved image. Right?
Yeah.
Right? We got to be careful, people. Or you want to be the monkey. And I don't think the monkey survived. Right? Something happened to that planet.
Something happened.
So I'm not saying bow down and worship it. Your face, that's what I meant earlier. Your face should not be challenged when looking at this. And it's not for that purpose at all.
Do you think
They
that's
may
part of
have,
the reason why they hide it?
oh, of course that's why they hide it. They think people would freak out. Again, you don't need that for people to want to blow us up and blow up historic things or cut our heads off. Give me a break. This, if anything, I could see some nuts wanting to bow down to it.
Yeah.
But I think, spiritually, the majority, I think, can overcome that and be like, this is evidence. It's just like an archaeologist when they go digging up these ancient places of ruin and pagan rites. They're not, whoa, I'm going to now bow down to it. No, it's just fascinating to learn and dig in to things to find out what they are, especially if they're unknown. And obviously that theirs definitely has a lot of unknown abilities, but I'm seeking his face and also see his handiwork in the heavens. I don't know about you. Mars is artistically carved in an entire planetary scale, let alone a fucking face, mountain, massive hill, butte, they don't know what to call it, is only 1.5 miles by a mile wide, 1,500 feet high, let alone a whole planet artistically carved. Either way, it's showing it's someone's handiwork in the heavens.
Yep. You're right, man.
I'm following what Scripture told me to do as a thing of faith. Now, look, I may be the host of the Acolyte of the Martian revelation, and King Holy Be Jesus knows this too. I just don't want it to contradict with the revelation. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord knows that. And he gave this to me. Everything we had to do, I believe he gave this to me. He helped teach me to teach myself. I didn't teach myself. He taught me how to figure this out and go somewhere with this to where down through time, if I have faith and I believe, that's when my future begins. I'm going to leave it at that. And I'm not leaving out the long story behind that, but that's a tale for some nights, especially if you guys want to go down that rabbit hole sometimes. But there's a lot of aspects because spiritual and physical, they're part of the same thing, but they're not. So they could definitely have a housing out there in the cosmos. Remember, when we look up, what does it say? Even in Scripture, 1/3 of the cosmos sided with the enemy. 1/3. So when you look up, and I tell my friends this, when you see a vast amount of stars, I say take 30% of that, and that's the enemy. That went against the 70% of obvious. They're not the enemy, right? So it's out there in the cosmos. So that means there's life out there. There's going to be bizarre things out there. Our physical and our spiritual, I'm not going to sound like a spiritualist or guru, but I've experienced what it means to be out of my body. And during experiences, I'll leave it at that. So, and I survived that. I'm still alive. So, and I had to stay sane to live on this earth to be prevented being thrown in a rubber room. But when you experience that and understand that, you could, when you see this crap like we see on Mars, this just opens the door to so much knowledge that we've attained. That someone knows. We know that the 70% knows, and we'll get to know it if you're a believer, and you should be. But hey, I gotta be. Who am I? I'm lucky. I'll just say that, to be considered. I got so many animals and friends I want to see again. But that being the case, it comes in all different ways and forms. Just like these structures on Mars, then it's not human. It's higher than human. And on Mars, the gravity as it is could enable them to be able to pull off greater achievements and at larger scale than it would be here on Earth. That's something to also think about. Now, But what was done on the earth in the pre-Adamite civilizations, yeah, I believe it, because in the Genesis in 1 and 2, there's Hebrew words tohu and bohu, I think.
Tohu and
And
Bohu. Yep.
yes, so that that's like, wait a minute, that sounds like a long story cut short.
Yeah.
There's something went on between one, God created the heavens and the earth. Then something went on,
And then verse 2.
and then there was a recreation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like there'll be a recreation again in a greater form, but there was also at the point in the days of Noah.
Yeah.
They had another different. So how many whoop-de-doos did we have to, did this planet go through? Remember, there's also scripture that says something. And it's very important when you think of this question that you arise, forgive my rants, but civilization after civilization passeth away, but the earth abideth forever. 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 So, civilization after civilization. Surely we're seeing all these different sides of civilization. Dr. Moore Carlotto is showing a lot of great work of previous civilizations through where different polar positions, because their foundations were built upon, and then when it shifts, you have the older foundations pointing to the old poles with the new structures put on top of them pointing to the new poles.
Yeah.
So, and who did the things before? I don't know who did Baalbek. Well, again, that goes back to that story of exploded planet, the Anunnaki. I mean, that could there's a lot of things there why I consider. I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't physically tell you, but it puts out a pretty good yarn with a lot of data behind it to paint out a good story of what's possible. And it just so happens they're the same ones that let us make man in our image.
Mm-hmm.
See how look, to one's faith, it may be dangerous. It depends on the challenge and what may actually be true from what is. But if you have your faith, I just think in the ultimate thing, your faith, ultimately, there's a lot of mysteries, a lot of things we don't know. Tohu, bohu. What was it?
Tohu and Bohu.
There you go. Yeah, we're all tofu, everybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to still be who you are. We're definitely not spirit bodies, I'll tell you that. Because people are worried about them coming down here and doing shit. They don't have to. They can take you. They can take your soul. They can take your soul. And you can go for a ride. And you won't even know. You'll think it's just you. But then they'll let you try to figure it out. If they like you, I hope. I'm still alive, and they slam you back in your body, and you have to figure that out. Retaining enough memories to put together so you test your intelligence. As a test of your intelligence, I believe. There's where the monkey face comes in mind. As I was told, shut up, animal. I'm not going to go there. But I'll just say this. The motives of the apish and the feline, that's a symbolic language. It's a symbolic signature. We're going to get into that. Of previous life. Not actual life. But previous life. Why is that important? Here it is when we see the face. Can I share screen again?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, let's look, because I want to show a little video too and explain something here. You got total contradictions, and a total joke, and it's total bullshit. I mean, let's just be frank, and it literally is. I'm offended. But you won't be offended at what I'm going to help point out to you, what the bullshit they're shoving you to believing. Now, share. Where'd it go?
It's a birthday present, wasn't it, Gary?
Huh?
I said, this is kind of a birthday present too, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. But before we go to that, Yeah, it was right on my birthday. I gotta the day after. Well, I'll get into that. We'll get into that. Let me see. Let me see if I can get to the. Now wants to jump to the video. That's not what I pressed. You know. What do you? Can you? I don't see a picture. What do you see?
The last
Where's
slide
my?
you were on.
You do?
That's the last slide you were on. Yes, sir.
Can't I? Oh, okay.
It's a
All right.
Fortress Leggiere.
Yeah, there's something there that we gotta hone that. For Leggiere, for Fortress. So this, Brian, would you call this a sign, a positive sign, a previous past life, a signature, not actual life, but a leftover of its remains?
Something.
Would
There's no doubt about it. It doesn't seem
would that be
natural. Yeah. Seems intelligently designed.
right? So it's a sign worthy to look down at some people, right? Again, this is going somewhere with the
Yeah.
This is shit, people. This is some It's obviously a sign. Would you think, oh, it's natural? Would you think, holy shit, there's been an alien there? Or is there? Or whatever. Would you attribute it to an intelligent alien
Yeah.
handiwork?
Yeah.
All right, let's say in the simplest terms, you don't need a PhD, everybody, to be able to look down. It's those with the PhDs that are looking down on you, lying to you. And I don't like that, nor do I respect it. So, okay, and to consider that we have to have the intelligence, or because we're so human defected, with problems, we just happen to see faces. I said, you got Xanax, man. You got some Thorazine. I mean, I'm seeing shit. I'm seeing shit and data. Why? What do you see? Well, here, take a look. Wow. What do you see? Well, I could see if. Oh, no. Now you need some Thorazine, too. Why? Because why? Look at that. You have to have the human intelligence, and we've known what. Now, the thing that connects this to potentially, like what we were talking about earlier, a connection maybe with the earth is because of this linguistic form. We've seen the same thing here, this split art iconography, this symbolic representation of being two things fused in one to present who knows, tell a story for all we know, right? But that you have to unravel, figure out. We see that here as like Mesoamerican split art iconography. Hominids or skulls with cat faces or a human face and cat face. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these are like the Mayan art. So that's the only, but that don't mean that it was still them or that there was or is a connection. It may be, but there's not enough evidence to go on. Or is it universal? Do civilizations go through similar evolutionary traits of language doing those same consistent things without ever having to know or come into contact with each other? I think that's a good question, right? But being Mars is so close, and we see that in ancient art hieroglyphs here on Earth, well, this is a lot older than that, as far as we know. We need more data to show for sure there was an Earth-Mars connection, or whether we're a friend or foe with different species or not. And that goes back to your thing about pre-Adamite civilizations. What happened way back then? Certainly then, there are tales in some of this Mesoamerican art, like through the work of George Haas. I'm sure, I think he talked to you about the Star War.
Yeah.
Right? About between Earth, Mars.
3-star place, I think it is.
3-star place, 4-star, 5-star, 6-star, and we are, I think Mars was 6-star place. We are 7, just like the Anunnaki counted. Like with us, no, we're the third planet from the sun. No, we're not. Not if you're counting inward from coming in. We're 7-star place. Mars would be 6-star place, and that there was a potential war. Now, That could be accurate too, but I don't see. We need more. We need more. But it's definitely, it chalks it on the list of something that we know is a more than a possible thought to secure the position to look into it. Does that make sense?
Right.
You know what I mean? So now that we have this image, now we have, like in the book I present now with this new image from Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, context camera, CTX camera. I added it to the book. You know, I had to process it, put it in, show the comparison before and after. So people are seeing that I'm not lying. I put the links to where they could go to these images themselves, right? So we have a lot of images. How many images does it take to look for a sign that never disappears? But the original words to us all was that it did a few hours later after the Viking image. And, you know, it went away. It was a trick of light and shadow. Read the book. You read the book. But anyway, that's not what it entails with this thing. That's not what it entails, because it's a sign of not actual life, but the life that was previously left its imprint, its signature. So, which will bring us, well, I'm sure we'll run into it. Might as well go ahead. Because on my birthday, the day before, September 9th, that was the congressional hearing. Remember that, Ryan?
Yes.
Where they showed that video. They gave us a great piece, something that we say for all these previous years. Show us something. All right, we got a tic-tac running through. Woohoo! Yay! Look how fast it's going. But now, oh, there's ET biologics, you know, great testimonies and things that they have to talk behind skips. But the government officially acknowledges, look, we have craft retrieval programs, you know. You know, that's the main thing here. Look behind the scenes, people, right in front of your face. We're acknowledging, yeah, there's off-world craft with ET, non-human biologics that we got. They're being worked on. We have to talk to you in the skiff. The government's asking questions. No one's in denial. Okay, but now, in this time, we get a video on September 9th showing another UFO cruising along. A Hellfire missile comes out of nowhere, strikes it, bounces off of it, just kicks it in the ass, makes it goes off its trajectory a little. It releases like these 3 sub-probes. There wasn't debris being from something and breaking it, because these sub-probes got in formation, started following in trajectory and continuing with speed with the craft that it came out of after being struck. For all we know, they came out, man, we're going to come out, we're going to screw something up, mess with me, man. You know, it's defenses. And we have that as, you know, when missiles are being shot, we shoot off defenses of what? Of red flares or heating flares to try to draw the missiles away from the craft. Maybe these are little subcraft that could actually go after the missile or anyone that's messing with it, right? FAFO, you know, that's what they're saying. And we see the armed Hellfire missile continuing on. And then the video stops. Damn! And they said they got thousands of hours, thousands of videos like this. Even better. So this was a great example of something. Okay, that ups the ante. So September 10th, the next day, it's like, and that was a great moment, was it not, Ryan?
Yes, it was awesome.
I mean, if anything, I was like, man, this makes it all worthwhile. I was like, that I certainly didn't expect to see that. You know, and I would be making comments beforehand. Well, bring out an alien head. Bring out something, dude. Bring out some from Corso's nut file. I mean, at this point, show us, bring out a piece of the metal. Anything. Well, this was the next best thing. I was like, okay, it's a great example. Start showing us more. Again, did you go kill your family? Did you kill your neighbors? Oh my God, I seen a Hellfire missile strike this UFO, man. I can't live life no more, nor should you. I haven't seen one person do that. Therefore, I think we're ready. I think we can handle it.
Yep.
Right? According to their theories of why they would withhold it. That's why I mock it.
Oh, the Brookings report is ridiculous. Don't get me started on that. But yeah.
Right. I mean, so it's, yeah, so you see exactly where I'm going and how this has been. So the next day it's like NASA. These dirtbags, we got to do something. We got to do something. We got to come out. We got to look good. We got to say something. Because, hey, what best way? Or was it planned? Did they know was what would be released at that hearing? And it was planned that NASA would have to come out the next day. And for people to put out the tiny little breadcrumbs and make the connection, it looks planned and obvious that we're being led somewhere, right? The UFO bones connected to the Mars bone, wink, wink, right? I mean, let's start thinking here. I mean, subsurface illegals on Mars, they might need some freedom. But anyway, so the next day on my birthday, I came across a video, the discovery. The disclosure moment, trying to make it seem like a disclosure moment, has nowhere near the impact, no pun intended, to the video we seen the day before, right? So, but their disclosure tried to look all happy and serious, but yet, can you see the screen right now?
Yes, sir.
They're all looking at each other. He's so full of shit. Look at that chick in the black. Man. This is so. This is bullshit. This is our job, though. We're here. Look, he's so full of shit. Look at this. What an act. What a stage show. And then when we're going to look at here, hopefully, here, and break down, it might be a lengthy breakdown for something so fast that can be explained. But the thing is, it's in their own scripts. It's like it tells a different picture of what's really going on, and it's comical because then you can see, all right, look at her face. She's like, yeah, there's some shit. He's talking about this is the disclosure of shit. And you'll see it. That's going to be literal. So it's like once you see this, it's like a play. Therefore, was all this set up and planned? Or am I crazy? Am I just high? Of course I am. But that just makes you smarter because it lets the hand the brainwashing from your skulls. Why do you think they didn't want you smoking it? But anyway, let's see. So, and this ain't very long. My explanation may be, but believe me, I'm going to play this through once. And then I want to go back to it again with your permission, Ryan. I want to help you see that everything I just described, even these people that like, notice on their faces. Look at that on the left. Yeah. We're in a tight pickle. Or like she's got one up there. Herself, the guy in the middle. He's I forget his name right offhand. He's the interim NASA guy leader. Look at the Indian guy next to him. Let's put it this way. None of them look happy. That's the sum up. Look at him. Look at the chick with the blonde on the left. Again, she's like, hey, you bunch of bitches. This is bullshit. You're all full of shit. I'm full of shit. I don't even want to be here. But yet it's like there's somber. There's nothing happy. So optics go a long way. And then when you consider the script. All right, I'll shut up. Let's watch this for a few minutes, okay, if you're cool.
Play the whole thing so we get the whole concept, and then I want your play-by-play.
All right, hold on.
And so a year ago, we thought we found what we believe to be signs of microbial life on the Mars surface. And so we put it out to our scientific friends to pressure test it, to analyze it, and go, did we get this right? Do we think this is signs of ancient life on Mars? And after a year of review, they've come back and they said, listen, we can't find another explanation. So this very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars, which is incredibly exciting.
And today we are really showing you how we are kind of one step closer to answering humanity's one of their most profound questions, and that is, are we truly alone in the universe? So last July, NASA's Perseverance rover found a leopard-spotted rock at Mars. And scientists immediately knew it was interesting. We hadn't seen anything like that before on Mars. And we talked about it last summer. The moment we found it, we put out the images for everybody to see and everybody to share. And so they've done the analysis on these leopard spots. And we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life. It's a signature. It's a sort of leftover sign. It's not life itself. And it certainly could have been from ancient life, and that would have been something that was there billions of years ago, nothing that's current there. And, you know, it could certainly, as we say, be made by ancient life. And what that means is we look at everything we know about life on Earth. And this is the kind of signature that we would see that was made by something biological. In this case, it's kind of the equivalent of seeing like leftover fossils, you know, leftovers from a meal. And maybe that meal's been excreted by a microbe. And that's what we're seeing in this sample.
I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Did any of you, hopefully you listen carefully, you can't make up. All right. To me, look, I'm a funny guy. I'm a serious guy. Don't get me wrong. But I'm also a very funny guy. I look for the humor and I mock just to make jokes. I ask for forgiveness sometimes later, you know. But, you know, fun is fun. Fucking fun. But this is so much literally. And she just admitted it. If you all look at carefully, here's the story.
A year ago, we thought we found what we believe to be signs of microbial life on the Mars surface.
Okay, so a year ago, last year, you know, we believe, you know, we might have found some possible signs of, you know, life on the Martian surface. Okay, thanks for waiting a year to tell us all about it. But okay, fair enough. Certainly not in a big way. Again, a day after the disclosure type tip of the iceberg crumb of cheese, the Hellfire missile bouncing off the craft. What does that tell you? You're a military man. What does that video show you, Ryan? What is the takeaway from that one video where we didn't need 100 for that moment? What did you take away from that video with the missile?
Well, Hellfire missiles are hell. And for it just to bounce off like that, and then for the probes to be released and for the UAP to keep on its way, we're talking advanced technology, no doubt about it.
Is it fair enough, Houston, we have a problem?
Yeah, potentially. Absolutely.
Okay. So then the next day, now, you know, we got something to show you, you know, and it's possible. It's possible. We spotted signs of past life on Mars. Oh, okay. So a year went by. Let's hear the story.
And so we put it out to our scientific friends to pressure test it.
We put it out to our scientific friends a year ago. Okay, you scientists, here's this. Take a glob on this. As it means to pressure test it. Okay, that tells me they gave it to these scientific friends to put them under pressure to test them. To test them for what? Why? Again, you look at the scripting of the words, look at it differently, and you paint a different brush. Whether it's real or not, because most people would think what they see on the surface is the reality. When the true story is running underneath, if you have the right code keys to get it, or the right mindset, like to see a split face at the face of Cydonia, to be able to say, oh, I think, let me flip and mirror each side. Oh, yeah, pun intended. Great analogy compared to this, right? So, all right, to pressure test them, some science friends. Why would they need to hand these scientific friends a year ago and give them a year to pressure test them? All right, hey, we believe we found some life. All right, let's see.
Analyze it.
Oh, to analyze it. Or to analyze it. Because they're gonna, you know, they're analyzing us all. We have to have these guys put this pressure test for them to analyze it so they can analyze you.
And go, did we get this right?
Here, guys, this is what you got to do. You're going to analyze these fools down through time a year from now. But we're putting you under pressure and we're putting you at a test. Did we get this right? Did we find? Let's see what he says. What did he get right? What's the question? Oh, did he get this right?
We think this is signs of ancient life on Mars. And
He asks that question again.
analyze it and go, did we get this right? Do we think this is signs of ancient life on Mars?
Okay, hey guys, here's how we're going to analyze everyone. Hey, you scientific friends out there under the pressure with a test. Did we get this right? Did we get this right? Did we find signs of past life on Mars? To me, the pressure and the test and that question. What's being applied to these scientists and why?
And after a year of review,
After a year of review, we'll give you a year to think about it. Come back and tell me.
they've come back and they said, listen, we can't find another explanation.
Look. You're right. We can't find another explanation. What you're showing us, which is what we didn't see yet, what we did, but as we go on, break down the story. Did we get this right? Is this signs? Huh? Is this signs, my scientific friends? Did we find possible past life on Mars? You got a year to answer it. And you better answer correctly, or you're going to be analyzed.
So this very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars. They've come back and they said, listen, we can't find another explanation. So this very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars.
Look, you gave us a year, and you're right. This is the clearest proof you ever showed us. The possible life on Mars. Really? Okay.
Which is incredibly exciting.
Which is incredibly exciting. It is when you're looking at the breakdown, right? It's incredibly exciting so far. Look, I got a packet of smoking again. Holy shit, and I think that's what made me see it, because I said, you know what, you can't make this up. I was like, did he just say what he just said? Did she just say what she just said? Then I was on the floor laughing. I said, no, what a birthday gift. Or even though they were mocking us. Because I don't think they thought anyone would see it.
Today, we are really showing you how.
And it's really exciting. It's really exciting how these scientists being at the threatening the analyzation, giving them the year to think about it. Did we get this right? Here's this, whatever this is. Did we get this right? Did we not find proof? Oh, a year later, you're right, man. I can't find no other explanation. Whatever this is you gave me, which we're going to look at, I have no other explanation for it. Okay, really?
We are kind of one step
Sorry, let me back up.
closer to.
On Mars, which is incredibly exciting.
Today, we are really showing you how we are kind of one step closer.
Today, look at her face, look at her hairdresser. Today, we are really showing you. We're really going to tell you now. We're really going to tell you now. Today, we're really showing you. Oh, that must mean you weren't before? Dumb. Huh?
To answering humanity's one of their most profound questions.
Oh, let me rewind that.
Really exciting.
Today, we are really showing you how we are kind of one step closer to answering humanity's one of their most profound questions, and that is, are we truly alone in the universe?
Now remember, this comes a day, what that question is. Today, we're really showing you. The day before, we were really shown an image. I mean, a video. Right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Again, you can't make this up. Now, it's shown some incredible things. It was, so we're really showing you past evidence of past life, right? Let me read that. I got to see this again.
One of their most profound questions.
We're able to answer now today. We're really showing you we can now answer one of the most profound questions, whether or not we're alone in the universe. I think we were asking ourselves that the day before, right? Oh, okay. But today is the day where you're really going to show us what?
And that is, are we truly alone in the universe? So last July,
Last July, which would mean we're seeing what? An image. We're seeing a picture. Last July, which must mean now we got the mysterious secret that was given to the scientific friends, where they were all threatened to be under pressure and test them and threatened to be analyzed, giving them a year to come out with an excuse. Hey, did we get this right? There's this image. Now we know what it is. I can't see it. You're right. I can't think of anything else. Yeah, you're certainly right, sir. You're certainly right, Massa. Okay. We get an image. That shows positive signs of previous past life. Just keep that in mind.
NASA's Perseverance rover
Let me rewind.
found questions, and that is, are we truly alone in the universe? So last July, NASA's Perseverance rover found a leopard-spotted rock at Mars, and scientists immediately knew. It was interesting, we hadn't seen anything like that before.
What scientists? They immediately. Well, it sounds like you gave them a year to immediately come up. They never seen anything like it before. We never seen nothing like that before. Holy shit. What do you see? I see a bunch of rocks, people would say. Right? Oh, there's some different colors. Leopard spots. Okay, I guess if one's looking pareidolistically, I see an animal spots. Okay. But, you know, it's a surface picture from the rover, billions of dollars looking down. There it is. It's a picture of a rock. In the science, again, you got to follow this along. They were pressured and tested. Give them a year because they wanted them to analyze it, to analyze us. They're analyzing each other. You get it? Hey, it ain't me, man. It's the words. You know, the script is where the story is. You got to have a sense of humor and an intelligence to split the iconographic symbolic language. Same thing like the visual of the face is this representation of the image and the script. Now,
On Mars, and rock at Mars. And scientists immediately knew. It was interesting, we hadn't seen anything like that before on Mars. And
it's fascinating. We haven't seen any rocks on Mars, guys. You know, we've never seen it before.
he talked about it last summer. The moment we found it, we put out the images for
everybody to see, and that's the same images that the guy must have gave. Again, they did give out the image last summer, I remember, but they didn't say, "Holy everybody, analyzation effort in play now." They waited till my birthday, September 10th, a day after being shown a disclosure video. This is their disclosure. Think about this.
everybody to see and everybody to share. And so they've done the analysis on these
They've done the analysis.
leopard spots. The moment we found it, we put out the images for everybody to see and everybody to share. And so they've done the analysis on these leopard spots. And we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life.
We've done some analysis. What analysis? Being able to have glasses or being able to see 20/20? The analysis of looking at a picture. And then what? Let's hear what she says.
Everybody to see and everybody to share. And so they've done the analysis on these leopard spots. And we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life.
Oh, we think they are potentially made. So whatever analysis that was done cannot definitively tell them anything, right? Why? Because you can't determine life from a picture, and especially of a picture of a rock, unless, well, that's not true. There are fossils, microfossils in rock, isn't there? Professor Richard Hoover you should talk to. But he'll show you some pictures of positive signs of past life on Mars in the rock. in the picture even. But analysis was done. She doesn't tell us what analysis. Here's the analysis. Hey, Ryan, can you see that picture?
Yes, sir.
All right, you just analyzed it, man. What's your analysis? I see a rock.
I see
All
leopard
right.
spots.
It's a signature.
What did
Gary,
she
I
say?
see a signature.
Yes.
Are potentially made by some sort of ancient life. It's a signature.
It's a signature. These spots. This rocks.
It's a sort of leftover sign. It's not life itself.
That's a leftover sign. It's not life itself. Really? Isn't that what we just went over on the last show, Ryan?
Sounds like she's talking about the face on Mars. Everything that she's saying is spot on with what you described.
And I'm not telling you to say that. I mean, it's only common sense to put 1 and 2. And we have multiple images of that, not just a single picture of a rock, right? Now, mind you, this is very important, everybody, because here's something else, a reason why those scientists would have been on the threat of being analyzed. In order to analyze us, if they didn't agree to them, which they did, it gave them a year after analyzing the image to analyze us. You see where I'm going here? In an X-Filey, skullduggery, cryptic way. So to give us a picture of a rock.
And it certainly could have been from ancient life, and that would have been something that was there billions of years ago. Not
something there, an ancient rock. I'm looking down at Mars. That's either metal or cars with metal and all that, and rock. I don't see sand and dirt. I don't see erosion. I don't see wind-blown sheep. I don't see something that's changing. I'm seeing something that's there for more than 500 million years. The data don't lie. The relief don't lie. Now, that's a picture. Everything like she just said, like you just said, Ryan, sounds it could match up. We could put the face here to be seen, and it would make sense. Even from out of her mouth, it would make sense. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'll make a video, so I'll put their words back in their own mouth, have them admitting. Yes, I'm going to do that. Thanks, Ryan, for letting me think of that. And yes. I'm going to poke the bear. Then I'm going to poke the bear. So let's listen to that again.
Itself. And it certainly could have been from ancient life, and that would have been something that was there billions of years ago. Nothing that's current there.
Nothing that's current there, just like the face. Everything. Instead of a picture of rock, but yet they couldn't come and attribute that to the face at Cydonia. Think about this, people. You're hearing this shit out of her mouth and his mouth in this skit, this show. Not matching the data, but matching it to something else that we could easily applicate. Therefore, if we paint this picture of them putting their own words back in their mouth to admit to something, which is obvious to most of us independent Mars researchers, and also many who look at the images in general that get to see the details and go beyond what discerns them from the way NASA releases them. That's why you need to get the book, The Faces of Mars Beyond Mere Tricks of Light and Shadow. So, now.
And, it could certainly, as we say, be made by ancient life. And what that means is we look at everything we know about life on Earth.
Look at that chick, that blonde. She's still, she's so full of shit. She's so full of shit. This chick's going out of her way to try and convince. Remember, she's really showing us now. She's really, really showing us.
And this is the kind of signature that we would see that was made by something biological.
Just like the face, but a rock, a picture of a rock, which they're making guesses saying that shows signs of positive signs of past life on Mars. Here you go. You got your $1 billion worth of question. Are you alone in the universe or not? Do you feel like you got your money's worth, everyone?
In this case, it's kind of the equivalent of seeing leftover fossils, leftovers from a meal.
She just told him, in essence, remember when I said that chick's looking at me and she said foolish? So she's describing what she is really doing. Fossils from some past life, like after a meal. What do you do after a meal? And you leave. It's
And maybe that meal's been excreted by.
I love how she just can't say it, Gary. We got to make this really scientific.
But we're seeing it. We're seeing it. She is giving us. We're coming out here on this guy's birthday, Marshville, man, Martian's birthday. We're gonna give him a show, and we're gonna periodic disclosure that we didn't give him right. Oh my God, a picture of a rock. That this is showing. You're right, lady. You ain't showing, but you are. You're showing, but you ain't showing. Why? Because first off, you cannot prove that those spots are. They're just saying, hey, it's coming from some excrement, like from ancient life after a meal. Yeah, here, everyone. Take another spoonful. We're excreting our to you now to eat, right? So, why? Based on this image. And after all the amazing things that she just said, again, Ryan, you noticed it, we can easily put the face in this picture. We have them admitting the truth.
Yeah.
Just in an unofficial way.
Yeah.
Not officially, in an unofficial way. Because we would see that this is bullshit. It's a stage show. And maybe it's also a test. Remember, he said it was a test, a pressure test on them, but maybe it's a test on us. That if we see this code, we paint the underlying storyline, which has the humor, not my, at least on my mind length, I'm able to paint this picture in order to tell us a truth for whoever's really looking at deep into their words. Deep. So, to paint the picture of what they cannot officially tell us, and therefore, hey, there's your disclosure. You can't say, hey, we didn't give you the data. We didn't tell you, we did not lie to you. We just presented it differently. And if you know how to put the thing together and help us to make things official, because we're not allowed to, because, man, you're all so full of I don't like being up on this stage. That guy in the background don't want to open his mouth. That other person, they just want to get the out of there. We're ordered there because they'll be analyzed. Because it shows they're in on it. They're in the picture of where the analyzation to us all is taking place. Now, so.
A microbe, and that's what we're seeing in this sample.
So that's what we're seeing in this sample. The microbes.
Gary, that literally is so amazing. I mean, if you were to take that entire interview, except for the last part about the excrement, and put different images of the face of Mars up there, yes, it would be everything that you've just said in this episode and the last episode. That is crazy. What a birthday gift.
And that happened after our show. So if our footsteps are not our own, even what we're doing here now is really not our own. It's meant for a purpose to lead us somewhere, and it's showing us some amazing things. Like he said, it's an amazing thing. They all agree. Yeah, we definitely can't find any other issues this area. You're right. You're right. That's the big thing. Yeah, we're scientists. You got to give us the pressure test to help analyze the public in pressure test. Put the test on the public to see if we can paint the right picture. And you helped me just see that, Ryan. I'm going to do that. And maybe if you're like, hey, man, Martian, throw it one night on one of your shows. This is what he came up with. Are we right? Are we right about what we're analyzing here? I think it would show that it's valid. Even though, they didn't really say that. They had a picture of a rock. Well, so did we.
Yeah.
Right? Just of a different rock.
And you know what's funny too, Gary, is like they use the erosion thing and it's just eroded rocks. Well, you're telling me that over billions of years, the erosion isn't going to take care of that excrement? No, it's going to survive. I mean, I want to know what was in that diet, you know?
It's not actual life. You know, just basically, it was there. It's there. The same pun intended. Right now. So I'm going to do that. But here's another reason. Why would the scientists, this is the big question, why would they have been put under a pressure test, being given what we now know as an image, that they had to help analyze everyone or they'll be analyzed, you know, screwing us all, right? So if you don't answer the way we want, we're gonna screw you too. So they answer, you're right. Why would they have a hard time with that? I'll tell you why. All these years, after looking at images of the face from the original Viking images on, you cannot scientifically tell life, past or present, from a f***ing picture. Everywhere. Those who know the research of the face, you know I'm speaking the truth. For decades, they say, oh, you can't do that. It's not scientific worthy. So how is it not scientific worthy, then all of a sudden, give them a picture of an image of fossilized. Again, they're only guessing. Just like we are when we look at the face. Hey, do we see a past life? Let me ask you all something, people, Ryan and everyone. Which one looks more exactly to what she said? Their picture of a fossily rock or the picture of the face of Cydonia?
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
All right, answer that, right? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Which is the most signature worthy that one would say, hey, that's the signature, that's the evidence? Or that passes a leopard spotted.
Spotted. Yes. That
right.
was.
Which one do you, what I think the majority of people would ascertain is the right answer?
I mean, they almost had me convinced by saying leopard spotted. It really got me intrigued. Okay. But I think if I was to step back and just be analytical, as you say, it's obviously the face. Obvious.
Therefore, how am I thinking what I'm thinking? What I'm thinking and what I'm saying and describing to you all isn't of my own. It's based on everything they said.
Yeah, exactly.
Their words is what made my mad Martian madness see a picture being painted in an unofficial way.
Yeah.
Therefore, that could yield information. And it could, in fact, indeed be the truth. They'll never admit to it.
Yeah.
Because it's unofficial. They can't. That's why they're like, man, we're also full of shit. This whole thing is shit. This is stupid. I gotta get my pay. Well, I'm here in position of analyzing you all. I hope none of you people see this shit. Well, people, do you see the shit now? And who's the one that's full of shit? Me? Or them? Wait till I paint that video. I'm going to do that. Let's just do it. It'll probably be a minute long if you wouldn't mind sharing it. Hey, for those that see this show, you know, here's some for you.
Better yet, Gary, how about we show it right now?
And so a year ago, we thought we found what we believe to be signs of microbial life on the Mars surface. And so we put it out to our scientific friends to pressure test it, to analyze it, and go, did we get this right? Do we think this is signs of ancient life on Mars? And after a year of review, they've come back and they said, listen, we can't find another explanation. So this very well could be the clearest sign of life that we've ever found on Mars, which is incredibly exciting.
And today we are really showing you how we are kind of one step closer to answering humanity's one of their most profound questions, and that is, are we truly alone in the universe? So last July, NASA found a signature rock at Mars. And scientists immediately knew. It was interesting, we hadn't seen anything like that before on Mars. And we talked about it last summer. The moment we found it, we put out the images for everybody to see and everybody to share. And so they've done the analysis, and we think they are potentially made by some sort of ancient life. It's a signature. It's a sort of leftover sign. It's not life itself. And it certainly could have been from ancient life, and that would have been something that was there billions of years ago. Nothing that's current there. It could certainly, as we say, be made by ancient life. And what that means is we look at everything we know about life on Earth. And this is the kind of signature that we would see that was made by something biological.
So there you go.
Yeah.
There you have it. Talk about an unofficial disclosure. So could it be that this show was in fact planned a year ahead, because we got a tip from the beginning that this would happen a year ago? Why wait a year, the day after a disclosure court day, knowing what obviously the government would say, yeah, we're going to show the people this, keep them interested, and then the next day on my birthday, here, have it so close to make it like they're giving out something that's useful when it's not on the surface. It's bullshit, unless you see the code and we just paint a picture. Would that not be, like he said, that's an incredible thing.
Yeah.
It's an incredible thing. Therefore, who gave them the scripted words? Who is the scriptor behind this disclosure? I don't think it's human, Ryan. And I'm saying this now to you and the audience. Think what you will of me. Yeah, I'm high. Has nothing to do with it. Look what we just went over. I didn't make that up. Now we could create a thing to put together and have them tell the truth in an unofficial way. Because people, when they see this comparison, like you said, it's a no-brainer. It's obvious. But isn't that crazy? And isn't it a weird, wonderful thing? Like that guy said, it's an incredible thing, I mean, and it is. It is. That means there's more of this to come. I make that prediction here with you and everyone now. We shall see in time. See how crazy I am. I don't know, but we're marching along to someone else's script through time, and we each have a part to play. That much I'm convinced. And that would show, just like in the scriptures in the Bible, that would show what? Manifestation. It would show purpose. It would, therefore, whether it be God or the devil, it's in the Lord's hands. I'm not going to bow down and worship anything. I want to learn. The Lord's the revealer of all. Hopefully, I don't have to pass to that other side to get all the truth. But that's what, ain't that what our side is? I mean, our job on this side is to the pursuit of that knowledge until kingdom come and find out everything.
Yeah.
About everything. I mean, if we don't do that, then how can we not expand our thoughts? I know all that's trying to be controlled with all these gadgets and all the systems now to try to catch us in place, but who and what we really are. At least me, that Viking blood in me, man. The adventure, the seas, the winds, the smells, the travel to new lands. Not to slay and maim. I mean, again, good and bad and everything, right? Good news, bad news. But that's what it is. That means we're going to face the same thing out there. We're going to encounter and go through the same shit out there. There'll be good people with me, for lack of a better word, people. And there's going to be people we're going to meet. And hopefully they don't think and try to take us as meat. To serve man. Remember that episode of Twilight Zone, bro? To serve man. You ever see that? Think about it. Look how and all that acclamation and things they try to tell us over the years. And now at the point down through time where we must be told, we can reflect back on a lot of this and be like, holy crap. I think we're ready. We have to be told. Either way, we're at a time now where we must be told. Where they're trying to come out and give us UFOs getting hit in the ass with hellfire missiles. Houston, we have a problem. This is our reality. If you want to go out and kill your family and neighbor, no, save it. I think we have someone else that may be needed for. Maybe. As far as I've seen, we're the ones that attacked it. But we have known that these guys don't play friendly either, do we? So there's things that we're not being told, and things, trying to control our nukes. There's very many purposes for that. There's many purposes to understand that even this process of what I'm describing right now, this possible theory I have that we're not our own footsteps now, is not being the conductor, the scripter ain't man. It's higher than human. That brings in possibilities and scriptural aspects too, like maybe you'd appreciate and I appreciate, and and some others do. Again, that goes back to different people's faith and everything. But what do we do? Just drop it and be scared and run?
No.
Well, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. And that's what we need to know, what it is. And for good or bad. For good or bad. So, I really, so you see where I was going with all that shit, right? It was literally a disclosure of shit. Because that's what it was, a fossil, like especially after a meal. I was like, oh God, I see where this is going. This is too much. Because this is leftover excrement. I was
She didn't even say the word excrement. She went out of her way so hard. It was so funny. That was brilliantly. She went out of her way so far, and everybody on that stage went out of their way to just like keep a straight face, because that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's where we're at now. How are we going to have a straight face looking at all this? Look, I saw a few samples of some bizarre world type pyramids. That's just some of things that I have found there and things that I'm finding. So I would definitely, if you guys hopefully would like me to come back in the future, and Ryan, I would definitely like to show some more. That's what counts. That's what counts, is the data. And NASA's not presenting that data to you, at least not as it should. I do my best to process what I can, and I will be getting better because that tattoo's there and I'm revealing it. And I know I'll secure you getting it even more crisper of the detail. That ain't sand, that ain't rock, that ain't dirt. That's that whole hemisphere of Cydonia is all art carved and structured, and I believe it's metal, heavy metal. And I want true color imagery of that region, because the color will bring out the tattoos more. That's why they don't want to give us true color. They'll give us RGB. It's always some bull too, man. I want some high resolution, as the human eye would see it, type color. And other wavelengths, like the predator wavelengths, but because that's data, and why not? And they do it themselves and say, oh, that's this mineral, that. Oh, the f we know. You guys are the ones that's really showing us now a bunch of shit. How do we know you were bullshit around all that too? That's the point.
You're right. You're right, Gary.
It's crazy.
No, and then you look at the budget that we spend on NASA, and don't even get me started on that. That's another rabbit hole. But
yeah, especially with this. What a waste of money. Billions of dollars piece of shit. Send a revamped Apollo. Instead of getting behind the man that could send, instead of 3 or 4 astronauts, we could send 100 per ship with 150 metric tons of cargo along with them. For each ship. Who has the better track record? And the bigger dream. It ain't NASA. They did what they did, and they're doing this now. They're not a scientific exploration agency. Obviously, they're a bull agency, pun intended, and that's what was revealed also in this. These are disclosures that we have to put together. Maybe that's why those people know that they're complicit. They're like, oh man, someone's gonna see me here. They're gonna know I'm full my whole career, my family. My family's gonna laugh at me and call me, boy, man. I'm just full of all the time. I'm never gonna hear the end of it. They're knowing that they're lying on the surface. But that was the biggest disclosure of truth, in the way that we looked at it and paint that picture. We have to make it official, for unofficial way the truth comes out. And that it actually leads to other things, which will be hopefully another show as we get to know each other more, my friend. Especially dealing with other images not released to the public, showing other faces of Mars taken from the Viking days.
All right. I like the dramatic ending, buddy. Hey, I've really enjoyed getting to know you better. I think you're awesome. I love your research. I love your heart, though. I love you as a man, a human being. So thank you so much. Tell people where they can find your book. And folks, go out and get the book. I mean, please help the man out. For crying out loud, it's got high quality print and images and color.
That's why it's so expensive. I hardly make anything off of it, but that's okay because again, that's what started my work all these years. And that subject definitely needs a quality book and a quality heart and a quality way to bring it forth to people. And it's larger size.
Yes.
So, you take it on the toilet, take it on a picnic, take it in it's big, it's a big size book. So it's definitely worth it. But you can find that on Amazon.com. The link, maybe Ryan will have up.
Link is in the description below. No doubt about it.
So, and www.thefacesofmars.com. The Martian Revelation show airs here and there. It's kind of in a comatose state, but I breathe every now and then. But hopefully in time, if things get better, Lord willing, that's going to make a comeback too, and with a stronger presence. And the next book will start. This is my first book, and I got enough data, as you can see, to even have the next book is going to be focused on pyramids. I got at least 5 different titles in me for different things. So hopefully that'll be a blessing. You know what I'm saying, Ryan? And, with your help, that'll be good because it gets this subject out there mainly. That's the most important. God put me in this work to get this out there. I don't want to get rich and all this, but I definitely could use the blessings because I have no money to market. No, not. I'm doing this despite all the negatives to pick myself to put someone, well, why should I do this then? Because it's what I'm here for. And it's what God gave me to do. I'm not in control. I'm not in control. You are. And I'd rather it be by the people that are interested in this than by those that want to shut me up or try to control me or try to prevent you from being seen this all as it should be. And there are those out there pulling that shit right now. And I just got out of one that tried to pull his shit with me to control me. And to control the subject to make his face be that face. Like, I don't even want to get into it. But there's people of all types. You know what the type of people I mean. If someone's telling you the truth or showing you the truth or has something worthy to say and show, and that shows data, I'm not just talking shit at all, man. I got the shit backing up. That's what it's all meant. It's the data. And that's what it is as a scientist, self-scientist. That's the first time I call myself that. I guess I am in that way. I've been doing this since 1998, So yeah, I'm a scientist, an armchair astronaut, I mean, and I'm not ashamed of it. The pain. Remember, everyone, for how many centuries people have only thought and wondered of what we have access now to our computer to be above other worlds, as long as that data ain't obfuscated, that data, and to look in and ponder. We are at a definite unique spot in time, my friend, so God bless you. God bless you all. And please, get that book or push these videos along, definitely the shows, because people will be seeing this, and that's what's the most important. People need to see this and talk about it and dare and to ask questions and not and don't put up with their that's it, and then we'll get somewhere, because we must make our fate, not the other way around. So thank you, Ryan, and love you too, brother, and everyone else out there. The Martian Revelation cometh.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't say any more. He's awesome, the one and only Gary Leggiere. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
That's Gary. Raw, relentless, and absolutely real. He's not crazy. He's passionate. And when you hear him out, you realize that passion comes from the same place we all have inside of us, the need to know. To everyone who donated tonight, who grabbed his book or just showed up, thank you so much. Every bit goes straight to Gary. You didn't just watch an episode, you helped a friend keep pushing forward. thank you. And to my Patreon agents, don't miss the aftermath. That off-camera conversation between Gary and me says everything about who he is and why he's more than just another guest on this show. And to all my YouTube channel members, you're a massive part of this family too. You keep the lights on, episodes rolling, and the mission alive. If you enjoyed this episode, hit subscribe, like, and share. And if you're traveling home from Thanksgiving or heading back to work, you can listen to The Ryan Files on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. You folks are awesome. Happy Thanksgiving. Be amazing, be positive, and stay curious out there, my friends. And I'll see you next time right here on The Ryan Files.
Whispers in the static, secrets leave a mark. Truth ain't in the daylight, it lives after dark. Ryan's on the trail, pulling threads apart. The Ryan Files after dark, this is where it starts. Angels on the skyline, demons in the mist. Giants in the earth, fists the size of cliffs. Nephilim footprints, history's abyss. Pyramids aligned, but who's making the list? Oh God, sleeping, Yahweh's thunder roars. Secrets in the scriptures, knocking on the doors. From Eden to the stars, the questions never pause. What's the cost of the truth? It's written in scars. Pages burning, lies unravel. Footsteps crunch where the ancients travel. Voices whisper where the echoes babble. Stay curious or let the shadows grab you. The Ryan Files after dark, peeling back the veil, igniting the spark, searching through the cosmos. Truth leaves its mark. Stay curious, stay curious. This is just the start. 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 Yeah. Aliens in orbit, angels on the ground, lost in the labyrinth where the secrets are found. Conspiracies buried, hidden in the sound, digging through the ages, pulling truth profound. Jesus in the margins, gods in disguise, demons in the shadows, lightning in the